Kris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Kris Avalon, and welcome to a new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm like, what is going on? Because I'm like still trying to figure out how to work this whole Instagram thing. Hopefully, it's still running live. But anyway, we here, we in the building. Excuse me. How's everybody doing? We have a lot of topics to get to today. I was literally in the last throes of trying to get everything going and making sure everything was working and all this other stuff. And plus, I had to add this last minute thing because I almost forgot. So there's some tea that came out regarding Melissa Barrera and all that other stuff that I wanted to. Oh, first of all, we have breaking news. Jonathan Majors, we got some tea. It literally came out 2 minutes ago. I'm going to get to that in a second. But first of all, let me do what I need to do regarding this. So, um, basically come on in, come on in, come on in if you're live. Yeah, I got the hoodie on, chat. It's cold outside. Like they talking about hurricanes and tornadoes, and it's like it's about to be like the halfway point of Wizard of Oz. Like it's a full on situation going on. It's nice in New York today too. It's like what 60 something degrees. Outside 61 degrees, but it's like crazy windy and stuff. Like I had things flying around. My dogs got scared at one point. But anyway, so regardless of all of that, go on, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff down in the comments. Leave comments because we are a live show. So thank you all for tuning in and stuff. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if I'm live on Instagram. I finally got it figure out how to make it work, but I had to close it because apparently it was giving like reverb and feedback, and I was not trying to be hearing myself while I was doing it. So I had to close it. But if I got the thing in the thing, hopefully it's working. If y'all see me on Instagram live, let me know down in the chats. But anyway, so hit that down in the description. Let me know, hit that like button, follow all my social medias and all that good stuff. And yeah, there's that. So we got a lot of tea to get to. The verdict finally just came out about Jonathan Majors. He's been found guilty on 2 domestic assault charges. So we're going to get into the other stuff with Megan Good and stuff later on, but we have to do the breaking news now, child. So apparently it said, according to John Russell, and shout out to the Neighborhood Talk, because I literally just opened my Instagram just to check to see if the live was going. I don't know if it is. If it's not, I apologize. I have to just figure out how to, turn the volume or something down. But anyway, so it said that he was guilty on counts 2 and 4, not guilty on counts 1 and 3. I don't know what the hell that means. I'm going to have to do a little research. And the next time I do a show, I'm going to have to go in depth with what all that means. But it said the verdict was split and the jury convicted him on 2 domestic assault charges. Probably because of the evidence and stuff that we all heard in regards of, him, saying what he said in the audio and all the evidence that we heard that came out. Talking about he's a great man and also so on and so forth. But we do have tea regarding his relationship with Megan Good. I don't know what that means now, but it is what it is. So I'm sure, like, as the show goes on, if y'all have any more tea, I'm probably be popping open the phone and looking up the information as the show goes along. Me trying to multitask and do 5 million things at once, but you know me. Welcome to the New World Order. I know how to multitask, chat. So we got that. We got Melissa Barrera. I forgot to bring that story up, but I actually was able to do it 10 minutes before the show went live. So I'm definitely going to be talking about Melissa Barrera and the whole thing with her and Scream 7. She basically told Spyglass to kiss her entire ass in Macy's window because they tried to save face after they got backlash from the fans. So that, and then Matthew Lillard also had something to say about the whole matter. So I got tea on that as well. Plus, we're going to talk about this Senate staffer who was fired after he, was laying it low and spreading it wide in the hearing room. Yeah, Miss Mamas was getting it in, child. She was taking that good old big old dick. So we're gonna talk about that. We got Madonna basically threw some little shade at Andy Cohen at her Brooklyn show over the weekend. Yeah, Miss Mamas was in the audience. I got the clip. We're gonna play that. Plus, we got Brandi Glanville is going in and letting have on Bravo over, the drama that transpired with her and that whole firation that happened when she, was trying to I guess, eat Caroline Manzo's box on camera. So we got that. Azealia Banks is throwing shade. Speaking of shade, Azealia Banks is throwing shade at Koonye because he tried to come for Nicki Minaj. So she's actually coming to her defense, even though she said stuff about Nicki in the past. But she got, look, I guess people, you can have your criticisms, and I do agree with that. You can have your criticisms, but you should also be able to, your constructive criticism, but you should also be able to call people out and give people their flowers when they usually do. And that's what I think I think that's what I do on this show, or what I attempt to do. It's like, yeah, if you in the wrong, I'm gonna call your ass out. But at the same time, when you write about some shit, I'm gonna give you your flowers as well. So we got that. Plus, the story I told y'all about Jonathan Majors and Megan Good, their relationship. Mötley Crüe member Tommy Lee is being accused of SAing a woman 20 years ago on a helicopter. In a helicopter. Fantasia says she was racially profiled at an Airbnb, and it looks like Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner have reportedly called off their stunt relationship. They are no longer together. Child, I didn't believe that relationship in the damn beginning, but I guess, the time it ran its course, people really wasn't featuring neither one of them together. We saw it through the BS in the beginning, but apparently their little fake relationship is done and over with. So we got that and a whole lot more. But once again, before we get to the team, follow all my social medias, hit me up on the Cash App if you can to help support the show. Look down in the description, hit that like button, hit that follow button, all that good stuff. Share the show if you can, and don't be afraid to be up in the comments because we are a live show, and leave your commentary. So without further ado, let's get into our first topic, which is, as I said, Melissa Barrera. Sorry, I can't even say her damn name. Let's try that again. Our first topic is Melissa Barrera, basically going in and letting have that Spyglass, because, the tea came out over the weekend that they tried to negotiate something with her or have a conversation with her about or what's it doing and stuff with, Scream 7, because they didn't like the fact that, I guess, the Backlash, they thought they could just treat her any kind of way, because they looked at it as like, what, we don't need a Nev Campbell. Nev Campbell tried to come at us over the fact that we had this money situation. She felt like she was owed a certain amount of money, and rightfully so, because she carried that damn franchise for what, 4 sequels, and then the 5th one she basically just had a damn cameo. So she basically wanted money. Spyglass was like, girl, it could be easily replaced. And then part 6 came along, and it made a shit ton of money. And I continuously say the only reason why, because apparently Spyglass is filling their oats. They or as old girl on the Canadian Drag Race said, they filling their goats. If you watch Canada Drag Race, you know what I'm talking about. But they felt that, okay, well, since Ned Campbell could be replaced, then we could replace y'all too. But it's like, but wait a minute, you already established the Carpenter sisters in this whole core 4 in part 5. So when part 6 came along, and yeah, Nev Campbell wasn't a part of the franchise, the reason why this franchise made more money is A, because you already established the core 4. We already became well acquainted with the Carpenter sisters. And then on top of that, based off the trailer, you put it in a whole new setting. It wasn't in Woodsboro, because I got tired of every time I turn around, y'all doing some shit in Woodsboro. So y'all basically took it to New York via Canada. But still, I like the whole urban atmosphere that y'all brought to a slasher being done in a big city type setting, which is really cool, because I love films like Maniac Cop and Maniac and all those type of things where it took place in New York, where we had a serial killer type of vibe. Which took me to those vibes. I ain't even gonna count Jason Tate Manhattan, because that was a piece of shit. But that basically was Jason on a boat and spent 15 minutes in Manhattan via Canada, except the scene when they shot it in Times Square. So that'd be a long ass title for a movie, right? So that's basically why we pretty much came and watched Scream 6. Where was that? Because it had that more urban setting, and it was a different vibe. And Ghostface seemed more creepier, far more creepier than we've had in prior films. Like, this guy seemed brutal. It's like, okay, what's the tea with this? So I think that genuinely got the fans curious, which is why it came and people came and saw the movie, and it got rave reviews. Even though I had my issues with certain parts, especially that third act, but still, Scream 6 was a relatively solid film, in my opinion. So for people to go around and try to act like, oh, well, now we can replace Melissa Barrera and all these other people, then okay, so we could do that. But now they got egg on their face because I guess Spyglass was still in their oats and they wasn't expecting all the backlash. So according to Ace Showbiz, they said, well, I would say actress Melissa Barrera reportedly told Spyglass to stick it where the sun don't shine after the production company received fan backlash over her firing. Now, according to Ace Showbiz, Barrera is not compromising when it comes to her political stance. The actress who was cut from Scream 7, also written as Scream VII, Scream 7, due to her pro Palestine post, reportedly almost got a chance to return to the franchise, but she passed on it. Now it says, according to a new report by Critical Overlord, who I absolutely like. I watch a lot of his stuff. If you ever get a chance, check out Critical Overlord on YouTube. He gets a lot of really good information in regards of like movies and horror films and stuff. I watch him. We watch a movie. They're pretty much on it. 3C. A lot of them pretty much. I go in whenever I want to know the latest. I also watch John Campea and Christian Harloff and a lot of them. So whenever I want to get like some pretty real interesting or entertaining type of information regarding what's going on in Hollywood and stuff, those are like the YouTubers that I like to check out with their stuff. But anyway, so according to a new report by Critical Overlord, but I also, speaking of Critical Overlord, I believe there was someone else that I heard, I think it was Pop Crave or something or another, I heard from that spilled this before Critical Overlord got the information. So I should put that out there as well. But anyway, back to the story. Spyglass Media Group has made an attempt to make peace with the actress. The 33-year-old was allegedly sought after by the studio in an attempt to repair a broken bond that existed between her and Spyglass after the firing incident became public knowledge. However, as the outlet notes, it didn't go well for Spyglass, who allegedly didn't have their wishes respected. The studio reportedly demanded that Barrera publicly retract her support for Palestine and condemn anti-Semitism, but the actress stood her ground. Rightfully so. And it said, following Barrera firing, the studio reportedly has tapped 2 stars to appear in the next installment of the slasher film series, but the details are not shared just yet. So I'm wondering who those 2 stars are because is it Nev Campbell? Because I don't know. Nev Campbell's kind of been, people are saying that she's standing in support, but until I hear Nev Campbell, I'm not going to necessarily kind of put her out the pasture or call her a hypocrite. Like, well, me personally, if you treated me the way that you treated me, and now all of a sudden you want me back because your prized possessions, the Carpenter sisters, the actresses who plays them, is not a part of the franchise, or you gotten rid of them. One said that she ain't coming back because she's filming Wednesday and a bunch of other stuff, but then it wasn't until a month prior to this whole stuff coming out that she was open to coming back. So I'm not believing anything that's coming out of Spyglass or the big trades like the Hollywood Reporters and the Deadlines and the Varieties, because a lot of them are Hollywood trade papers. They get the exclusives from the studios. So who are they going to stand with but the studios? Because if y'all go and say, oh, well, we don't believe what they saying over in the studios, then you lose that connection of getting the exclusive. So of course they're gonna play that game of, oh yeah, well, and then the pundits that come on here too. Well, the Variety and Hollywood Reporter says it must be true. I mean, to an extent it can be true, but sometimes we got to be practical and far more critical thinkers when it comes to when certain people put things out and who they align themselves with or who they have connections with. So I'm not buying what a lot of the major trades are saying. I feel like a lot of y'all are just saying that because y'all want to still keep that connection. Now, I'm sure that they'll be bringing back Hayden Panettiere because I loved her Kirby character in Scream 4. So I'm thinking that one of them's got to be Hayden Panettiere. The other one I don't think is Matthew Lillard. Now I know everybody's been trying this whole Stu's alive thing. Stu's coming back. Everybody wants Stu. But recently he just did an interview with Entertainment Weekly. I didn't even know Matthew Lillard was 53, by the way. He looked good. But anyway, so he told Entertainment Weekly because he was in Five Nights at Freddy's, and I actually liked him in that film, even though I feel like y'all, it was so obvious he was the killer. But I feel like y'all wasted him. But anyway, so the Scooby-Doo star told Entertainment Weekly that he said he probably won't return to the series following star Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera's Screen 7 departures. And he said, I don't think so. I don't think so. This is what he explained to the publication. He also followed up by saying this. He said, I mean, look, with what they're going through right now, I have no idea where that goes. If there's a world that it makes sense, then sure. I mean, they keep mentioning it. They keep tiptoeing around the outside. He says, I hope they put it to bed one way or another. Noted that he wants the producers to decipher once and for all if Mocker is dead or alive. He says, I can't walk down the street without somebody asking me if I'm going to be in episode 35 or whatever. A popular fan theory, they keep saying that he's alive. But um and then, if you saw Scream 6, you had Mindy Meeks Martin. She told Kirby, you know, if you believe he's dead. So they've been alluding to whether or not he's alive or not and that sort of thing. So they play around with it because they know what the fans are saying online. And Scream has always been meta in that way. So they're going to go around and they're going to keep toying around and playing with that in regards to that. Now, in regards to this, I'm glad that Melissa Barrera stood her ground and was like, first of all, she didn't say anything remotely anti-Israel or anti-Semitic. See, I be feeling like a lot of people like to throw the anti-Semitism word around because y'all know that if you say someone's anti-Semitic, someone's an anti-Semite, then those are fighting words, or that leads to automatically you're going to lose your job, you're automatically going to be canceled and that sort of thing. So a lot of people out here like to weaponize that word because they know a lot of people are afraid of it. And I don't feel like what she said was anti-Semitic. She didn't say anything. I've gone through a lot of her posts on social media with a fine-tooth comb because I like to do my research before I come on and say and do anything. And she didn't say anything remotely negative towards the situation. So I don't know where they got that information from that she was being an anti-Semite. I just feel like that because and it leads to the thing of people saying that, well, Hollywood is full of Jewish people, it's run by Jewish people, the banks, all those stereotypes in there. If you say anything remotely against what we agree or we approve of, then you should never get a job in Hollywood. You can't work for us because your beliefs don't align with ours. And that should, my personal beliefs or whatever, unless it teeters on hate speech, should not affect my job. Because people always like to say freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Y'all like to throw that freedom of speech word around like y'all like to throw around the Second Amendment, which is, the right to bear arms. But it's like the funny part is you only know the right to bear arms part, but you don't know the rest of the part of the Second Amendment. Same thing with the First Amendment. You can say whatever the hell it is that you want to say, but there comes consequences with the things that you say. But I should also have the right, and I feel like this is what she did. She did not say, I stand with Palestine, but I also feel for the people of Israel who are stuck in the middle of this political BS regarding what Netanyahu and all those other and his ilk are doing, and the military, and going out here literally wiping out full-on generations of Palestinians. This is what these people are doing all over land and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, and this has been an ongoing fight for a long time, even though we had wasn't there a whole peace treaty that transpired between Yasser Arafat and during the Clinton era and stuff? But it seems like that never, the papers and everything was signed, was supposed to be worked out, but it seemed like nothing transpired from it. It's like you were supposed to divide and do whatever it was you're supposed to do. I don't have all the information in front of me. I posted on my Facebook because Joy Reid did a whole thing on it on her TikTok. So I basically posted it on my social media. So if y'all need to, you definitely check it out because it was educational part for me to learn more about what's going on and stuff as well. But anyway, to get back to this, I'm glad Melissa stood her ground. She was showing empathy for young people, especially children who are being annihilated. These are lots of children being murdered, blown to bits. Mothers, grandmothers, kids, infants, fathers, whole generations of people being wiped out. And I'm tired of people with the argument of, well, why don't you go to Gaza and see how you survive? Why the fuck am I going to go to a country where I know like y'all just going to blow me up for being who I am? But I can have empathy for people who are losing their lives. I shouldn't have to walk down the street in any country worrying about a missile gonna blow my ass to bits any second. Nobody should have to deal with that because if that shit happen here, I'm sure y'all will have y'all energy will be way different than what's happening over there. But because you are where you are, y'all don't give a fuck. But I actually, me being a human being, I actually care about lives regardless of what it is. The only time people shouldn't perk up and care about a life is if some woman wants to go out and decide to have an abortion. That should be the only time a lot of y'all want to run up in here and have an opinion about something or want to police somebody's body or say all lives matter. That shouldn't be the only damn time. We should care about people regardless of the situation and what they're dealing with. And nobody's going against what the terrorists was doing over in Israel. But I understand why they did. It's the same thing with 9/11. Now, That's my town where y'all went and threw the planes in the towers. But what I looked at it was that these planes went in the buildings because the people was tired of our government doing what we was doing to them. So they was like, you know what? This is a retaliation. We tired of y'all bullshit. I feel like this is the same thing that they're doing with, from Gaza over in Israel. They tired of the bullshit. So that's why they did what they did. Y'all don't want to do things by talking it out and having a conversation. Sometimes violence is the answer. Unfortunately, that's the way it is, but that seems like to be the only language some people understand. And politicians, they love war. That should get y'all dick hard. So let's say all this to say, Melissa, I'm glad you stood your ground. Fuck Spyglass. I really wish that they would sell the rights because I feel like y'all have screwed over this franchise since y'all got your hands on it. You did Nev Campbell dirty. Now you doing the other people on the show dirty where y'all feel like, well, anybody can be replaced. And I don't know how you're going to do that when y'all never really established Scream to be a franchise where it's a new final girl every season. The reason why people watch Scream because it's basically like the Scooby-Doo of slasher films, which is it's always a group of people. Some survive, some don't. Where it's a mystery. It's a who done it. Who's the killer? That's what we basically watch the franchise for to find out who the killer is in the movie. That's why a lot of us watch it, and that's why I go opening weekend because y'all not gonna spoil that shit for me on social media. So it's like, who are the killers? Because it's never one, except part 3 when it was just Roman. But Sydney's brother from from the same mother, different father. But so that's basically the reasons why we watch the Scream film because it is literally like I said, the Scooby-Doo of slasher films. It's like you have to figure out, let's unmask the killer, or the killer usually unmasks himself. And then goes in a whole monologue about why they were treated the way they were treated and they feel like shit. And then the lead cusses their ass out, then they get to tussling, and then they end up dead. So that's always the thing. Then that's why we watch the Scream movies. So I'm here for you, Melissa. I cannot 110% say I'm not going to watch Scream 7. Because, I always say I'm not going to do something, I'm going to do it. But if the movie turns out to be like whatever they decide to come up with, if the movie turns out to be good, if it looks like it's scary, whatever story they come up with out of curiosity, because I love films and all that stuff, I will watch it. And because I'm media, I have to be in the know and be able to talk about the trending topics and stuff. So I will have to. So on that point, I will have to watch. But as a fan, I'm disappointed with where this franchise is going regarding the Scream franchise. So good luck to you, Melissa. I don't like, like I said, I don't like what's happening with everything, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Okay, so now Felix says, you saw the story about people being killed while trying to wait. Oh, yes, I did. And I talked about that on social media as well. It's like the people, you had the Israeli military literally shot down people waving a white flag. And I believe they were from Israel. So you out here shooting your own damn people in Gaza, but like they don't give a fuck. Because I also heard, and I saw the footage on social media. This is why it's like, the media, the news hates the fact that we're getting information that's coming out from people's phones on Twitter, on TikTok, on all these other places. They try to go out here and say, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They're spewing propaganda. It's like my eyes work correctly. I don't got cataracts. I don't have no issues. I don't need glasses. I see clear as day. With not only this situation, but also there was a situation where David, I just lost my train of thought. But there was I've been seeing a lot of stuff online with them being shot at that during also the ceasefire. That's what it was. Now it came to me. During the ceasefire, there were people that were trying to get aid. They were running, they were going to get the food, water, the medications, all that stuff was finally coming in after the media had been trying to tell us for weeks that these people been getting shit, but they haven't. So once that happened, I'm seeing footage of people being shot at by the police when y'all supposed to be having a goddamn ceasefire. Why are you still shooting people? What's the point of the ceasefire being in place if y'all gonna keep shooting people? So a lot of the shit that these motherfuckers been doing over there has been pissing me off. But nevertheless, let's keep the show going. And yes, Robert is in the building. He says, breaking news, Jonathan Majors was found guilty. Yes, I did say that as soon as I opened the show, because what I was trying to do, I actually was able to do it. I got the show to go live on Instagram. But then I had to close it because I was hearing feedback and stuff in my ear. So I don't know if I'm still live on Instagram. If I am, let me know. But I did I happened to open up my phone just to check to see if it was going live or whatever. And yes, I saw the news from the Neighborhood Talk, by the way, that Jonathan Majors was found guilty on 2 of the 4 counts. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's going to jail. I don't know if this means, well, I guess once the court came up with their thing, it's all up to the court of public opinion, right? Like people people like the regular viewing public, are y'all gonna rock with Jonathan Majors after this? Like, how y'all feel about, what does the future hold for his career? That's what I'm worrying about. Like, because Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, remember that whole physical situation that happened? Like, what's gonna happen with that? So I am curious as to what is gonna transpire from that whole situation. And Sailor Mermaid is in the building, said, hey there. Okay, so yeah, so if y'all, but here's the thing: if y'all, whoever in the comments, y'all hear some stuff on what all this means, like, because I'm trying to multitask and be on my phone, but also concentrate on the show and all the topics that I have and follow the chat and all that stuff. But if y'all hear anything regarding this case on what all this means and what the future holds, whatever update y'all get on this, definitely hit me up in the comments and let me know so I can read it live on air, because I can't get to it now. But once I do, when I do another show, be it depending on how many topics come out, I'll probably put together a live show tomorrow or the day after. Depends on how many hot topics I can conjure together to give you a show. I'll break this show. I'll read up on the articles and give my opinions further on that. But if y'all happen, like I said, if y'all happen to come across anything in the live chat, definitely let me know. And Shannon was fired. Shannon was fired from Charm. Oh yeah, definitely let me know about that. Did the new podcast drop? Because I haven't heard it yet. There's been so much stuff going on today. Like today has just been a crazy day. It's just been a lot going on. I've been trying to keep up with a lot of stuff. So it's a lot, like in the words of old girl. It's a lot from Selena S. Titties. It's a lot, yeah. So yeah, so now I had DJ Baker hit me up in the group chat talking about, I guess, no more Marvel movies, which quiet as it's kept. The word on the curb was Jonathan Majors was pretty much producers behind the scenes. John Campea said that he had spoken with some people behind the scenes on his, when I guess he wasn't feeling well. So he said, I had time to watch shows and make some phone calls. And so, catch up on some stuff and make phone calls. And he said he talked to some people that work in the industry. One of them is a producer at Disney, and said that the word on the curb is Jonathan Majors may be done as Kang, that they are going to recast the role and all that good stuff, which I kind of sensed that was going to happen from the beginning. Because quiet as it's kept, as much as I like Jonathan Majors, and I think he's a great actor, and Michael B. Jordan, you another one. You need to watch yourself, because would you out here drag racing your damn Ferrari? And I seen the video footage. Would you crash into parked cars and stuff because you don't know how to drive that damn Ferrari you got? You're going to end up like Jonathan Majors in the same situation where y'all 2 young black men on the come up in this industry, and y'all about to F up y'all chances in this business because y'all want to do stupid shit. I did hear Michael B. Jordan was at Jennifer Lopez's Christmas party over the weekend too, with Ben Affleck. Jennifer Lopez threw a Christmas party over the weekend and all that good stuff. It's like I got a lot of stuff that I've been but look, it's a live show. If y'all got some stuff and you want to interact, like I said, we're going to do that, and then I'll get to the topics in a second. Okay, Robert says, I feel like we need to do a special podcast episode now that the tea was entirely spilled, and we finally got it all. Alyssa Milano did a lot. Brian had to apologize to Holly for causing a mess. Well, right now I have, my show already set, but yeah, I may have to incorporate Shannon and Charm, because that was my show back in the day. And I told you I watched Charm. I started rewatching the show actually on Prime Video. I'm running through the episodes, but I've realized lately, because I don't know, it's just like normal television shows ain't been giving me what needs to be given. Now I did finish watching the first 3 episodes of Reacher. Then I started watching the last season of The Witcher because of Henry Cavill. It's my husband, one of many. I finished watching Lawman Bass Reeves last night. Great show. If y'all have not seen it on Paramount Plus, definitely check that show out. David Oyelowo, I heard he was nominated for a Golden Globe. Well deserved. Hopefully he wins, but it's tough competition. I need to finish watching Fellow Travelers, the final episode of the season. I don't know if it's a season or series finale. I'm confused. The way these shows be running. Y'all say it's a limited series, but then y'all end up extending the shows once they do well. But anyway, Fellow Travelers, that episode came out last night. Gotta watch the finale. So there's a lot of shows and stuff coming, but I've also been feeling a little nostalgic. I started going back to earlier seasons of Drag Race, so I'm on season 2 now. I started watching Queer as Folk again. What is wrong with me? Like, I'm watching a lot of old shows, and then it's like I guess I'm feeling nostalgic. And then I started watching Charmed, and so I'm watching a lot of old shows. Then because I missed the moment of Shamar Moore, I started watching SWAT. So SWAT is on Netflix. So I started rewatching that, and I love me some Shamar Moore, child. So I got to watch that show for obvious reasons. And then Reacher. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the first 3 episodes came out. Great season so far. I'm so mad I gotta wait for the next episodes, but Amazon Prime, y'all be doing the damn thing where it's like, let's give the people a little taste. Give them the first 3 episodes, then we do it weekly. I wish Netflix would do that. But Netflix just don't, to me, in my opinion, they don't value their product, in my opinion. Robert says, I've been watching Step by Step. I missed that. I'm that age now where TV shows ain't it. Yeah. I was watching Family Matters. I need to get back into watching that. And then Step by Step, I saw that because it's on Max. So I need to catch up. And I have been feeling a little nostalgic and rewatching a lot of old sitcoms that I grew up with. Like, TGIF was my shit. I used to watch Family Matters. Who else was it? It was Family Matters. It was Step by Step. Hang on Mr. Cooper. That was my show too. And damn, it was Boy Meets World. I used to love Boy Meets World. That was my show. Corey and Topanga? What? It's like, don't play with me when it comes to Corey and Topanga. Those are my peoples back in the day. That was like my show. I remember when I was a little kid, I went to camp. And I remember when the pilot and all that stuff came on, back in the day, you had to set the time on your VCR for shows and then record on the I know, VCR Gen Z, if you're watching, is a machine that you put a tape. I'm being messy. I'm sure y'all know what a VCR is and the tape recorder. I'm being silly. So, those are my shows. And I remember when Boy Meets World first, I was like, oh my God, I need to watch that show. And it was because Ben Savage was the brother of Fred. And I used to watch the Wonder Years. I said the Golden Years, the Wonder Years with Winnie and what was his name? Fred Savage, and he had the Winnie Cooper. It was a little girl that he was obsessed with. But yeah, that was my show. So, and I started rewatching Sex in the City too. I'm on season 3. I told you I'm feeling nostalgic. And then, yeah, Robert said it is our age. It was like I started feeling like I missed a lot of the shows that I grew up watching. And so now I started watching those shows again because I was feeling a little nostalgic. And I just feel like the energy of the shows now, it wasn't given that. Maybe it was a sense of innocence that you want to feel, especially in a time where it's so much hate and stress and anger. Like, everybody's just mad out here. So I just feel like those shows that I grew up on, it makes me, it's like this family wholesome type of energy that it's giving. And I think that's why I've gone back to a lot of the old shows, because I kind of miss that sense of innocence. I just feel like I know too damn much going on in the world. And I just don't want to be running around being mad at the world. Okay, so let me get to these comments and then let me get to the next topic, which is about this Senate. This boy out here who was laying low and spreading it wide in the Senate hearing room. So Roro says the Gilded Age on HBO is pretty. Oh, I need to check that out. I think I've seen that in passing. Like, I've seen it on when I'm scrolling trying to find something to watch, and I've seen that on there. But since you said, I may have to watch that. I also started watching Monarch. If y'all haven't seen that on Apple TV, which is Godzilla. I'm not really a Godzilla fan or Gojira or Kaiju and all that stuff. I'm not really into that stuff, but I've heard like the one that the Godzilla movie that's in the movies is really good, and then this is good also. And then, like I said, speaking of Family Matters, yeah, I did hear about Darius McCrary for not paying his child support. I was thinking about I was going to do that, but there's so many topics I got to get to on this show. I may have to save that for later on in the week. But I did hear the story about Darius McCrary not paying his child support. He got arrested. Robert says, thank God for TV on DVD. Xena isn't on. I need Xena Warrior Princess. Hercules, I ain't watching because I can't stand Kevin Sorbo. Because after what he's become, I can't watch that damn show no more. But Xena, that was my shirt. Shit, my dog's name is Xena, by the way, in case y'all didn't. 12 a.m. means next day. I missed the Spice Girl special. It aired on midnight because our NBC was our UPN affiliate. Plus, I miss slapstick. Yeah, comedy isn't the same what it used to be. You can't really get away with a lot of the jokes that they used to do back in the day because people are so damn sensitive. Sailor Marie says, yeah, the show movies from the 80s, early 2000s has center optimism. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I missed those shows. And many were excited for the future. Then everything changed well, I think it was like after 9/11, when the world went to shit, is why a lot of people are feeling the way they feeling. So I feel like the world changed after the whole 9/11 situation happened. Then we felt that shift and things got dark. And I feel like we haven't really gotten out of that. Yeah. Desperate Housewives, I was thinking about getting into that because I kind of miss soap operas. I hope they bring back, like, I really wish we had something where we could watch, like, All My Children and One Life to Live and all of them. I kind of wish they had a network. I knew we had SoapNet, but I really wish they would bring those back. So, anyway, okay, so now let's get into the rest of the show. Okay, so let's talk about this Senate staffer who was fired after filming a gay sex act in the hearing room. Now look, at least he put the room to good use, because after our own government been fucking us every which way from Sunday, for the past God knows how long, at least somebody put the room to good use, and at least he cleaned out, unlike some of you heifers. Like, I seen people on social media was trying to read him, talking about, did the room smell like feces or whatever, and somebody clapped that was like, unlike y'all straight people who y'all talk about, y'all don't wipe y'all behind because it's gay to wipe your butt. So he wound up saying, like, at least we clean out before, well, bottoms, I should say, because I'm not a bottom. But he was like, at least the person who wrote in the comments, and I hollered when I saw it, he was like, at least we clean out before we go and get it, hit it when the tops hit it from the back. So you were trying to come for the gays, you're about to get red. Like, why do the breeders even try? Why do y'all try to throw the shade if you can't take the smoke? Don't do it. Gays will read you. Okay, so let me get to the article. So it says Senator Ben Cardin's office has parted ways because the staffer, who conservative news outlets alleged was shown in a leaked video having sex in a Senate hearing room, was fired. Now the guy's name was Aiden Mays, I think is his name. Mays Saropsky is no longer employed. I'm so sure I butchered his name, but Chad, I apologize. So Aiden Sirkopsky is no longer employed by the U.S. Senate. This is what the Maryland Democrats office said in a statement to NBC News on Saturday, which is first obtained by Politico, saying we will have no further comment on this personnel matter. On Friday, the Daily Caller, a conservative news outlet, of course, published what it said was video showing a congressional staffer having sex with an unknown man in the Senate hearing room. It added that the video was shared in a private group for gay men in politics. So log cabin Republicans got a hold of this tea, and one of y'all heifers spilled it. I wonder, okay, first of all, I want to know who was the person that spilled this video on social media, because I saw it on Twitter, and I'm sure it's floating around. And I actually screen recorded it, and I sent this to some people. I sent the video around. I was like, first of all, kudos to Miss Mamas for being able to take the size beef jerky that she was taking, because old boy was well endowed. So I know a lot of people seen the picture. I mean, the still online. And you saw his back, and the memes were funny. I have to say, the gay memes on social media, y'all do not miss a beat when it comes to with the memes and stuff. I was cackling. I was posting them on social media. A lot of people was like, "Is this real? Is this?" Yes, it's real. Like, first of all, why would anybody make something like? I'm not surprised by things that happen anymore. And it's like, who was the one? Was it George Santos that leaked it, or was it Lindsey Graham? Because you can't tell me Lady G ain't a big old homosexual. You cannot sit up here and tell me that Lady G allegedly, and that's Lindsey Graham, and a big old Southern belle. You cannot sit and tell me that. So the dude's been fired, and then they said on Friday night, Saropsky put up a post on LinkedIn saying that he had shown poor judgment in the past. He would never disrespect my workplace. Well, child, you did. But then again, like I said, That room has been used to fuck over people in this country for God knows how long. You actually hitting it from, taking a big old dick in your butt in the Senate room where it's empty and you butt ass naked is the least of our problems. And my thing is the hypocrisy was sending me. I'm gonna get this comment in the beginning in a minute, but the hypocrisy from the conservatives was pissing me off because I'm like, wait a minute. So George Santos was doing all the crap he was doing. Google Schmoogle is a list of the crap that he was doing to take advantage of our country. That's okay. Y'all still wanted him to keep his job until they had to vote his ass out. Then Marjorie, Planet of the Apes Green was out here doing the mess that she's still doing, and it's okay. Lauren Boebert can give hand jobs at the Beetlejuice musical surrounded by children, and that's not a problem, and so on and so forth. So the gays in DC, are y'all okay? And besides that, the hypocrisy from the Republicans, until y'all get your house in order, don't even be trying to all of a sudden try to thumb your nose up at, okay, a Democrat who was working under a specific senator was getting his cheeks clapped, in a government office. Child, people be doing all kinds of stuff. And so, like, I've seen on social media that people be beating off in their offices and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So, while I say it is wrong for you, my thing is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it's hypocrite. So what? Because I'm tired of this whole situation of when they go low, we go high. So Michelle Obama, I forgot what you said you meant by you saying that, but look, there comes a point in time where, as Democrats, you got to be able to fight fire with fire. Republicans are always going to play messy. They're always going to be dirty. They're always not going to take the high road. They're always going to go down in the gutter. Sometimes you got to get down in the mud and wrestle with the pigs in order to get what you need to get going. Sometimes taking the high road don't always work. Sometimes you got to beat the shit out of somebody for them to get it. Because like I said earlier in the show, sometimes taking the high road and being nice or just talking things out don't work with people. Some people you just got to mollywop. That's just the way it is with people. With your words, don't literally put your hands on somebody. But sometimes you got to meet these hypocrites where they at, and take their ass on. So it said, this has been a difficult time for me as I've been attacked for who I love to pursue a political agenda. While some of my actions in my past have shown poor judgment, I love my job and would never disrespect my workplace. Any attempts to categorize my actions otherwise are fabricated, and I will be exploring that legal options are available to me in these matters. Well, I don't know how you're going to be able to legally handle this because you literally was having sex at work, which is a no-no. You cannot be in a government office. As much as I make the jokes and I've been saying all this other stuff, come on, you got to be practical. Like, come on, you have to be aware that your actions are inappropriate. You cannot be at work having sex in, office where at any time they could have you wouldn't have been aware. At the last minute, they switched up and decided, oh, let's go in here and have a meeting or whatever. Or somebody coming up in there and they walk in the room and they see you butt ass naked with your back arched, about to take, the world's biggest meat. You can't be doing that at work. You got to know, like, okay, so this, say that for another time, whatever. But then I just don't understand this generation where y'all have to record everything. Why do y'all have to record stuff and put it in group chats or whatever? Because there's always going to be some shady ass queen that's going to put your shit on blast and expose you. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you risk your job because you're trying to be funny or you're trying to be cute? And there's always that hater that be in the group chat that be, spoiling it for people. There's always that one. So good luck to you, sir. I don't know if you're going to be able to, win a case, but we'll see how far that goes. Or if you'll be able to, make it work. Okay, so I see there are some comments. Let's get to those before I get to the next topic. Okay, so Sailor Mermaid said those guys were less than smart. Like, did they really think they were not going to get caught and recording this on top of exactly? So it's like, how y'all out here spilling, doing this stuff, and you thinking like it's only gonna what happens in the group chat stays in the group chat? Not all the time. Like, if you got like real close people that is not gonna put your stuff out there, then you can have a group chat for that. But there's always going to be somebody out here that's going to be messy. And plus, because that's just how the gays are. Not all of them, but a lot of them are messy. Felix says some guy caused a huge controversy when I was at Disney last week. I wasn't in line when it happened, but I saw the video when I got home. Was that the one? Were you at the place where the guy was in, what was it, in It's a Small World or whatever, and he got stripped down and they said he got butt naked? Were you at that Disney World? I mean, at that part of Disney, were you there when that went down? Let me know. Because I did hear there was something that went down in Florida, I believe, where there was somebody who was on a Disney ride and he got in the middle of one of the little things and he stripped out of his clothes. They said he was on something, but, child. He said YT gays or something else. The funny thing is, I've always heard people say YT. Is it YT or is it white? Because I've always pronounced it white. YT. I don't say YT. I just call it white. It's just a more cut to the point part of the saying white, because we abbreviate every damn thing on social media. Rover says it's crazy how this younger generation doesn't realize that even private internet chat groups, hello. And that's what I'm saying. Like, once y'all put stuff on social media, it is no longer private. It really isn't. It literally becomes part of the public. Even when you post something on social media, you thought you deleted it, it's still out there. Somebody gonna screen grab it and expose you. Felix said, Molly, you in danger, girl. Okay, you better work, Miss Goldberg. Privacy is a thing of the past. Agreed. Social media is making many people, especially in this generation, making them less than smart. Oh, so it was at Epcot. Epcot? Who's at Epcot? Epcot is so boring. Like, I remember when I was a kid and my parents took us we went to the regular part of Disney, we went to Epcot, we went to Universal. We went to all of them, but like Epcot's the boring part. Who likes to go to Epcot and have a good time up in there? But if you like it, I love it. He said, I was there today, but it wasn't in line when it happened. And white, thank you. So, because I'm glad I've been saying it, because I've been saying white for the longest. And EJ, who, used to produce the Kris Avalon Unfiltered show, was like, YT. And I've always heard people say YT. I'm like, YT? I've always pronounced it white, but I'm glad I was pronouncing it the right way. Just saying. Okay, so good luck to you, sir. All right, let's move on and talk about Madonna, who, I think she's moved on. She's moved on to DC, I believe. She has a couple of shows she's been doing there. And then I think after that, she's going to be on a long break until January, where she's going to kick off the rest of the show, which I'm actually excited because my nose is itching like crazy. And no, because I'm about to talk about Andy Cohen. It is not the booger sugar. Y'all tried it. That's not why my nose is itching. It's his COVID flu season or whatever. And now all of a sudden my nose is itching like crazy. Like, it's not giving cold. You got me confused with the other girls. But anyway, okay, so let's get into this. Yeah, like I said, let's get into this Madonna story, because apparently she threw shade at Andy Cohen because he was in the front row of her concert in Brooklyn. I believe it was the show she did on Saturday. And yeah, she jokingly called them out during the third night of her celebration tour. Now, Andy Cohen was, as I said, was sitting front row of the Music Icon show at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on Saturday, and she took time to make some playful comments about his hit show, Watch What Happens Live. Now, I do have a clip because I wanted y'all to hear the Queen say it, what she said, and then I will come back and give my opinion.
How fucking lucky am I, Andy? If you say one more bad thing about me on your show, you're gonna be in so much trouble. You little troublemaking queen. Oh yeah, sure. It's that crazy kind of love. I know about it. I'm addicted to it myself.
Okay, so there was that. So she basically called him out. People were saying she was joking. I'm sure she probably was. Madonna has mellowed out quite a bit since, the incident where we almost lost her and stuff. And I actually like the fact that she called out. I was watching the MLVC podcast. I had to remember because it's Madonna Louise. I am so slow. I was today years old where I learned the podcast basically stood for Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone. Don't throw tomatoes at me, but I just realized what that that's hilarious because it's like MLVC, Madonna Louise Veronica. Those are all her names. But anyway, and like Latinos, Italians, they get a whole lot of damn names in their name. They even get two last names. Well, I don't know about Italians, but I know in the Latin community you do get like two last names, you hyphen them and all that other stuff. But anyway, so I understood why she said what she said, and I realized why Andy Cohen be saying the stuff he's saying. It's because he's mad because she will not do his show. Lady Gaga's been on his show. Jennifer Lopez has been on his show. Cher's been on the show. Mariah Carey's been on the show a couple of times. He's even changed seats for her because she has to be sitting in her little, you know, she has to be angled a certain way because, Mariah's on this good side of her face situation. So she always got to sit on a certain side. It's something that, mental health is real. Just saying. I don't think Beyonce has ever been on Watch What Happens Live, but Andy has had the opportunity to interview a lot of the legends in the industry. Madonna has yet to go on her show. Madonna has only done a couple of shows. She's done, now at this point, I think she only does Jimmy Fallon. But Jimmy Fallon is a lady rump kisser. So he's not really going to hardball her with questions. He don't even like asking his guest questions. So to me, I just feel like it's a waste of time for her to go. But she wants to do the fun, light, and all the other stuff. So that's why she goes on Jimmy Fallon's show. And it's like, okay, girl, if you like it, I love it. But I just don't like softball type of interviews or just somebody being there gushing and kissing your butt. I want fun, but also like we're those questions that the fans want to know. Like we really want to feel intimate and get to know the star that we're watching. So I don't particularly care for him that way. And she's done live with Kelly or whoever her damn co-host is, because at this point I can't even keep track of what she got. I know her husband is there. Speaking of which, her husband was at that the show, the same one that Andy Cohen was at. It said that, because I did see who they said was there. Okay, they said Scarlett Johansson was there, Katie Holmes was there, Chris Rock was there, Drew Barrymore was there, and Mark Consuelos. I don't know if Kelly was there, but if Mark was there, Kelly had to have been there. And then I also heard Lourdes' father was there too, Carlos Leon. So, but then also they said that there was the person that came out on stage and did the whole, as I call the unapologetic bitch section of the show, which is, when they do the voting contest and you hold up either chopped or 10. There ain't no numbers in between. You do 10 or you do a chop. They said that it was somebody named Tony Touchstone. I'm like, who's that? First of all, I know a Tony Touch. And Tony Touch is somebody who's well known within the music industry. He's like, I think he does hip hop, like that whole breakdance, that type of vibe. So if we talk about Tony Touch, the DJ, someone who's in the hip hop world, that's who that was there, then okay. But somebody said in the comments of the Madonna Louise Veronica Giacone podcast, they said Tony Touchstone. I'm like, I don't know who that is. But I did also see that they were talking about that they were glad that Andy Cohen wasn't picked to go on stage and do the whole Vogue, the voguing contest segment, which I think was cool that she didn't have him up there either. She chaffed out and said what he said. He be in the groupie, I love you, because that's what Andy does. Andy's a baby rump kisser. Andy be wanting to say that, I've interviewed everybody in Hollywood. He wants to be the Ryan Seacrest, the Dick Clark of, media. He wants to be the big king of all media and all this other stuff. And that's that. Now, I did see people were talking about the whole late situation because there was something that was posted, and let me pull it up, that there was a disclaimer that was put out for the celebration tour. It said Monday, December 18th at the Capital One Arena, due to intricacies. I had to say that real slow because I was about to mess that up. Due to intricacies of the Madonna production, Monday's show will begin past the ticketed start time of 8:30 p.m. Please plan the evening's travel and surrounding details accordingly. Metro riders, please be aware that the show may run past when the last train is expected to leave the Gallery Place station. We encourage you to familiarize yourself with the Gallery Place station schedule and rider guide here before the show. So it literally has a thing. It says Capital One Arena, Madonna Tribe Friends, Madonna fan party. They posted it. So yeah, and I know a lot of people have been upset with her because she's been showing, she's been coming on late, that it's been going past people's bedtime. I understand the whole bedtime situation, but maybe I think a lot of it's concerned because they're like, I have to work in the morning, but also we got to worry about public transportation. And in New York, I know that's going to be a major concern because while the New York trains run few and far between, depending on the train you taking home, I do worry about the people from Jersey that are going to have to worry about getting home and all that other stuff because of everything that's going on with the subways. Because I think after midnight, like you have to, the next train shows up at 5 in the morning, and I know that's going to be a struggle for people. But here's the thing, and I know that a lot of people don't like the fact that okay, so we have to. Bad enough I had to pay so much money for a ticket to come to your damn show because Madonna tickets ain't cheap. Although I have heard many times people say like you wait a week before the show, you can get a cheaper ticket. Or some people I've heard say they wait the day of and they see like the ticket numbers go down and they were able to get a floor seat for like $100 or $200 or something or another, which is not bad. I would rather pay that at the last minute than $1,200 for anybody any day. So I'm not doing that. Like I got bills. So they want you to plan accordingly. So my thing is this: I figured it out. I said I already got my ticket. I'm gonna go. If it runs late, it's fine. I will take the train home. But if it takes if I gotta wait an hour, or whatever, or something for a bus, I'll have some money that I'll put to the side for an Uber. Ubers really aren't that expensive based off of the train station to where I live. So I'll take an Uber, whatever, home and deal with it that way. Like it's not a big deal for me, but I understand like a lot of people have, you know, there needs to be an awareness of people's finances and stuff. But just, look, this is something y'all should know that before y'all get into these type of things, when you go after these mega stars like a Beyonce, a Taylor Swift, a Madonna, a Gaga, or whatever, that the tickets are not going to be like going to a Jessie Ware concert or a Slater concert. And there's no shade to them, but they're smaller acts and they're performing in smaller venues and their tickets go for what? Because what was it? When I went to the Fever Ray concert, when I went to the with Jessie Ware and then with Slater, those tickets were under $100. So I think I paid like maybe 50 to between 50 and $75 between the three of them, with depending on the ticket. I can't remember the exact price on the top of my head, but I'm just hitting between the $50 to $75 range. So that I understand. And plus, their shows was done on, they were out. They had the fans out on time. So I don't know. Maybe what Madonna needs to do is, girl, you need to figure out how to be a little more punctual and figure out, okay, now if your show is intricate, that they need to figure out how to make the electrical stuff and do a rehearsal or run through, whatever. You need to do those a little early. But then again, I understand she is 65 years old. She is a woman of a certain age, so we can't expect her to be out here like she Beyonce. Where Beyonce is what, 42? So good luck to you. And child, Andy, you a mess. Like, look, he's a messy queen out here being a messy queen, doing messy queen things. So that's why I was like, a lot of people say, well, you up in here talking shade, throwing shade at Madonna, but at the same time, you want her to come on your show. He's being a typical homosexual. He's being a typical messy queen, which is you love the icon, but you throw the shade at the same time. So so it's expected that that's what someone like he would do. Something like an Andy Cohen. Okay, so Robert says, let me read the comments and then we'll get to the next topic. So it's that her team is saying Capital One Arena and future venues is not going to start on time. Well, I guess look, like I said before, they have to put this out there because now they're tired of hearing people complaining about the lateness. So maybe she should have established this from the beginning instead of, thinking like people are going to have these expectations. Because now with the internet, people feel like they're just going to go and throw shade and say what they're going to say about you regardless. Okay, so Felix says the thing with Andy is he tries to live vicariously through her friends. He always tries to get them to talk about chill. Yeah, between anybody that she knows that comes on the show. Like Sandra Bernhard. Every time Sandra Bernhard comes on the show, he always wants her to spill some tea about Madonna. I don't know if he's had Debbie Mazur on the show, but Apollonia Cruz is in the building, says greetings, darling. Sailor Mermaid sounds like she was joking. I mean, he is a Gemini. Well, yeah, child, don't even get me started with Geminis. But yeah, he's a Gemini and she's a Leo. So I just feel like with Andy Cohen, he talks out of both sides of his mouth, and also he likes whenever there's press about him, like he's got a huge ego. He's no different than Kanye. Kanye is another one who's a damn Gemini. So they love when you talk about them. They love the good and the bad. So you can say whatever you want about Andy Cohen. He loves it. He loves the attention. When you ain't got much talent, I guess that's what you need to rely on. Robert says Rolling Stone reminded people in their reviews she has outlived Prince, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Keith Haring, and outlasted Paula Abdul. Well, Chad, why is this kept? Paula Abdul didn't really have much of a lifespan musically any damn way, regardless of, because the vocals was limited. Still is. Because I don't think she sings live. And I love Paula, but, outlasted Paula Abdul, Janet Jackson, or others. She's the last one. Well, Janet is still out here doing what she's doing, but like I said many times, Janet, I need you to step your pussy up because you keep giving me the same all the time. Like, you can't keep giving your fans the same two-step, the same clothes, the same dance moves. Like, there's no evolution, in my opinion, when it comes to Janet Jackson. It's like, girl, you might as well just become a Vegas act at this point because that's what you're giving me. Yeah. Glad we agree. Jimmy Fallon is such an ass. That's why I can't get into him. And I did meet him one time when I worked at the Big Apple Circus. They were doing some type of press thing, and he had to do a commercial and stuff there when I was working there. So they had him in the big top, and we had to stay out while I think there was some people that had rented out the place. It was a whole story, but yeah, I did meet him one time. Between Kelly Ripa and Ellen, she only does interviews with friends and people who know her and knows what not to ask. Well, I don't like like I said, I don't like butt kissing interviews. I like them interviews with people like, I'm an open book, but not to be shady or whatever. Just like, let's have fun. Don't take yourself so seriously. I'm kind of surprised Oprah didn't interview Madonna after she started feeling better before the tour. I just don't think Madonna wanted to do an interview or whatever. Yeah, Oprah barely does interviews. At this point, Oprah's out here promoting the color purple. That's what she's doing. Get a hotel room and take the following day off. Well, I know people who actually do that. I'm gonna stay in the city, get a hotel, take the day off, that sort of thing. I had a friend that actually did that once. That I forget what it was. Oh, I know what it was. It was because of the New Year situation. I think he went and getting a hotel and all this stuff. Didn't want to go back on the train or whatever because it was gonna be crazy. But I do get that. But it's like, yeah, you got to be able to plan accordingly. Unfortunately, when you break the bank, it's like it's a whole event. Like when it comes to things about, particularly, it's not just Madonna, it's just anybody. It's like if you're going to be putting this kind of money out, it's like, yeah, I understand celebrities should take into consideration your financial situation, but I understand, like, this is why I don't break the bank for everybody. There's specific artists that I will go see perform live. It was not, I already know I'm not a Swiftie, so I was not going to go see Taylor Swift. Beyonce, I live for the whole movement and stuff, but I got my reasons why I want to go to Atlanta. So I just didn't feel like it was going to give me what it needed to be given. I like Beyonce. I like the movement. I like what she was doing with this whole album. I like the era, but it wasn't enough for me to go sitting up in there in some damn stadium in Jersey to want to go see her. Child, I wasn't going over no bridge and tunnel to go to no Jersey to see no Beyonce. That just wasn't it. I'm keeping my ass in New York. So there's certain people that I break the bank for that it's like I want to see, and then particularly with this situation, I feel like what happened to Madonna made me want to see her even more because of the incident where we almost lost her, and it seems like she's more appreciative of this show. So that's the reason why I'm sticking. I'm really excited even more than ever to see her, and I haven't seen her since Confessions, so I'm looking for that. Now, Roro says there's footage of Mariah being forced to pose from her so-called dad's and it looks like she's having a mini meltdown. Barbara Streisand has a similar insecurity. And they're both not unattractive women. Like I like Barbara Streisand. Why we accept Barbara for who she is because that's just her face. She can't remove it. She can't get like a full-on face or a face plant, implant and replace the whole face. It is what it is. She did sound check at 7:30. Most do sound check around 3 or 4 p.m. Well, honey, stop doing sound check when the doors open. You need to be doing sound check like I said, at 3 or 4 p.m., go off, do what you need to do. Go eat, spend time with your kids. Y'all get ready, do your stretches, your vocal warm-ups, all that other stuff. And then 7:30, the doors open. That's giving enough people time to come in. 8 o'clock, like if I have an opening act, I would not do opening acts, number one. I don't want nobody trying to, no shade, upstage me. That would be my insecurity. What I would do is I need me a traveling DJ to come, which in each state, whoever the hottest DJ is or whatever, have them be the opening act and then I go on in an hour. That's what she should have been doing. Like 7:30 is to come in, 8:30 to 9:30 is the DJ, and then 9:45 Bob comes on, does his thing, and then Madonna comes out and does her show right after. That should have been like the whole situation. But people thinking, oh, it's the minute we walk up in there, 7:30 is when the show's gonna start. Like, no, nobody said all of that. But who got to be? Why do I have to be specific on a damn ticket? It's like y'all just act like this is the first time y'all actually did a show, okay, or been to a show. Andy always tries to live like, oh yeah, I think I read that already, right? Kathy Griffin told a story about Barbara Streisand on Oprah, and she painted her microphone white and said she was glad Oprah didn't wear orange. Janet shows have been really similar since the 90s. Child, quiet as it's kept. But it's like, if you say anything about Janet, people get mad. But it's like, I am a Janet fan. I bought all her music. I should be able to say what I want to say about her. You've had several months to prepare, etc. It's too late to complain at this point. And last but certainly not least, oh yeah, did you post this? I think you posted this twice. So we have that already. So yeah, so there's that. So Madonna, you keep doing your show. I'm gonna go see her on January 29th. Almost forgot the damn date. And here's the thing, because there was something that was brought up, and I'm gonna move on to the next topic, which is this Brandi Glanville story and her going up against Bravo. So speaking of Andy Cohen and all this other stuff, I do agree, like from what I've heard at the Brooklyn show, that there was a lot more cameras there than usual. So I believe that they are filming stuff for a possible documentary, a tour similar to what we've always gotten from her. But what I need for you, Madonna, if you are putting together a concert tour with the documentary, like if it's like a bit of I'm gonna tell you a secret, which I'm actually hoping is the full tour, plus we get a documentary aspect of it, like how you've been holding up, what you've been going through behind the scenes, so that way people understand, okay, why is this woman coming on late on these shows? I need whoever is shooting this, please no crazy ass slow-mos and whooshes and quick. We don't need I don't need all the little special effects and all that craziness in here, because you was driving me crazy with the last couple of tour videos. What I need from you is I need a cross between Truth or Dare, Confessions, and what was the other one? Reinvention. I need a mixture of all those three and give me that. What not reinvention. Reinvention was I'm going to tell you a secret. So I need you to kind of give me some of that all woven into one. I cannot do it the crazy like I don't need crazy effects and slow mo and all that. I don't need all of that excess stuff that you like putting in your toys that was driving my eyes crazy. Because that last one, I hated the way they edited the Rebel Heart tour. Hated it. So I can barely watch that tour because I hated the way they shot it. So I need to maybe get Jonas Ackerlund on the line or somebody who knows how to really shoot you and get this thing put together. Because I just I don't need I don't need my eyes going through all kinds of convulsions watching a damn tour or whatever it is you're putting together. But I know she's putting something together. Because at this point, I would think she would need to, especially with everything that's been happening and everything that's been going on. I would think that you need to put a show, like there should be some behind the scenes stuff put together, because you've been through a lot. So I want all of that to come in. And I also heard, oh my God, the girl that's supposed to play is it Julia Garner from Ozark, who's supposed to play Madonna in the biopic. She was also at Madonna's show, but I think she was at the first night in Brooklyn. Forgot to mention that. I forget, they said she came out during one of the segments. I forgot which one. I think it was I forget which segment they said she came out, but she did show up. So I think the film, the biopic, is still on, but I think it's all gonna come out after the tour is done. All right, so no, it didn't get erased. Once you type it in, it's there. So, but that's fine. But anyway, let's get into our next topic and talk about Brandi Glanville calling out Bravo. So, former Bravo celebrity Brandi Glanville is accusing Bravo of encouraging their reality stars to drink excessively during filming the fifth season of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip in Morocco, after the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip butler filed a lawsuit against the network. Now, according to Page Six, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum shared a series of tweets over the weekend, including one where she attached an alleged screenshot of a text from Ultimate Girls Trip producer pertaining to drinking alcohol. Basically, it said that producers may not shove the alcohol down our throats, but they sure do encourage it, even in Morocco during the day where it was illegal to drink. So the name has been blurred out in the iMessage. And it was, well, actually, let me pull this up for y'all so that way y'all can see it, because it is in the shared screen where I have it. So basically, it said, Right here, yes, that's my road dog. And it says, you, Vicky, and Eva should pull Phaedra aside to talk about your drinking game set up for today while at the spice market. And so then she also wound up saying, I'm completely innocent. The producers asked you to do something and then you get in trouble for it. The producers need to follow rules. So, she's basically calling out production and stuff, saying that they do encourage alcohol drinking. She also brought up the whole thing about the butler in Morocco, how producers told him to flirt with her specifically. And then she said she asked him if he had a girlfriend. He said yes. And she said, I told him not to do it. And I did not participate. He was lovely. I didn't want his life ruined. And here's the thing. As somebody who has been on an episode of Real Housewives of New York, I can attest to this, that they do, production does encourage drinking. They may not force you to drink. However, they do encourage drinking on the show. I always have to reiterate this because because whenever it comes into these type of conversations and this stuff, I always need to bring this up so that way people know that I know where I'm coming from. So I appeared on an episode of The Real Housewives of New York City during the Sending the Clowns episode. I think it was season 11 or 12. I cannot remember. When I worked at the Big Apple Circus, I was the head usher, so I had a whole section. The cast of The Real Housewives of New York was in my section because Tinsley was the guest ringmaster. Whenever they come to New York, they always do like little special events. We have special ringmasters. Celebrities always come, like Liam Neeson's been there. Bruce Willis was there before, his situation, or maybe he was going through the early stages. We didn't know. But, so he was there. Ariana Grande's brother, Frankie, has been there. There's been a lot of celebrities who have come there. And so Real Housewives of New York, I believe the same day, I'm not mistaken, that Jimmy Fallon shot was when Real Housewives of New York cast came to our show. Ramona was there too, but she came in, do her little scene that I don't even think made the cut, and then she left. She slid out like she always does. But anyway, so when we shot the scene of the thing, and you can see me in the episode because I had to sign off to be in the episode. After they were like, so can you bring these drinks down to the ladies? So I had like cups of wine that, the ladies were being given by production. The drinks were brought down to them and by me, because I knew, I was like, if I say no, they're going to find somebody else and I'm not going to be on TV. So I knew, like, I'm not stupid. So the minute I brought them the drinks, Tinsley's mother was lovely. I had a little brief conversation with her. It's all on camera and in the episode. So I brought them the drinks. After that, I went back to my post, and then the producer came to me, said, just so you know, you were just filmed. So do you want to sign off on the paperwork? You get to be on the show. If not, I already knew what was going to happen. If I didn't say yes, that they could use my likeness, my face, they could have used it anyway, but they would have had to blur out my face. Y'all would have known I was there. So I signed off on the paperwork, and lo and behold, when I watched the episode, I was in the episode in the whole situation. So they do encourage drinking because, quiet as it's kept, a lot of you women or a lot of people, when they do these reality shows, whether it's the Real Housewives, whether it's Love and Hip Hop, or any of these other shows, a lot of these women are not entertaining unless alcohol is being consumed, because a lot of y'all just going to sit there and be boring. And yes, when you see that screenshot that Brandi brought up where it said, you, Vicky, Eva should pull Phaedra aside and talk about your drinking game, that usually is what happens with producers. They are setting up scenes. You have your story producers and all that stuff. You have them where they're setting up scenes where it's like, okay, so you are going to appear at this time tomorrow. You and these two other actors are going to come in a room. So, for example, Brandi and Phaedra, y'all going to meet up and y'all going to have this conversation about Vicky, saying some stuff, and you had on Tamara, and y'all got to cuss their ass out or whatever the case. What are your thoughts on that? So there are things where they set up those scenarios. So that is something that actually happens on the set. Now, Brandi, I love you, and I'm a fan, and I do love that you are messy and what you bring to the Real Housewives franchise. However, you drinking, you're someone who, if you don't know how to control how you drink, then maybe you need to figure out a limit or something or another. Like, you too damn grown. You're in your 50s. You don't know your limit when it comes to drinking. And when you do these things, I understand, like, you're on a pressure cooker and there's hours and hours and hours of that they have y'all sitting there, and then you're probably getting pounced on and getting, these girls are picking a fight with you because they want their moment and they want to maintain, being on these shows and getting a comeback because they're all about trying to keep that fame going, kissing Andy behind and all this other stuff. So they're going to be people that pick fights with you, and you sitting there for hours having to take it. It's like, well, damn, I need something to do. I can't just sit here and eat all damn day. Let me just keep down on the drinks, and then next thing you know, you're twisted. and you are doing things. But producers at some point, y'all got to take responsibility where it's like, you can't be telling people to just drink heavily and drink like crazy. But then when it comes down to it, y'all want to be like, oh, well, we need to disassociate ourselves from a situation because now this particular person went too far because now Brandi had too much to drink, but now she out here, allegedly groping other cast members, shoving her tongue down Caroline's throat, grabbing her genitalia, all the alleged things that they said that she did in this season that we don't even know is going to air. I just found out that the new season of Ultimate Girl Trip currently is airing on Peacock with the Roni cast. Speaking of New York, the original cast. I didn't even know that dropped until I saw a friend of mine, Celine Dijon, a drag queen. That's why her name is Celine Dijon. Told me that she said, yeah, the first 3 episodes of Ultimate Girls Trip with the Roni cast is up on Bravo and Peacock. I don't have Bravo, but I do have Peacock. So I was like, oh, now I got something else to watch because I didn't know that it was out. So they've currently got that season. I don't know what's going to become of the season with Brandi. I hope they do air it. But then again, if you have the Butler filing the lawsuit and Brandi coming out saying what she's saying, and Leah McSweeney out here suing Bravo also for saying that because she was someone who was sober before she joined the show, but then she said that they were forcing her to come out and drink, and she broke her sobriety because her livelihood was threatened or whatever the case was, then there's a serious problem that needs to be worked out on these reality shows. Quiet as it's kept, I honestly think that this whole way of reality shows is kind of on its way out. Like the whole Real Housewives situation, I feel like that whole franchise, the way that they run things, I feel like it's run its course. Basketball Wives, I'm pretty much like, okay, why is this still on? We got another, we have all these same long-winded ass shows. You got the Real Housewives, you got the Basketball Wives, you got, well, Jersey Shore is still on, doing what they doing. So it's like a lot of these long-winded shows, these shows been on for like 10, 15 years. Y'all still running with the same narrative. And how long y'all gonna keep facing lawsuits? Or the fact of that a lot of your your reality stars are not willing to be thrown under the bus while the network suits and stuff try to go scot-free. So I don't know what's going to happen at this point. I don't know if, well, Brandi, with your reputation, I don't know if you have a way of slithering your way out of this situation. And if you're going to be able to win whatever you need to win, but it just seems like, I mean, look, this is good grist for the mills, something to talk about for my show. But at this point, I don't know what can be done. We'll just see. But yeah, Bravo, y'all a mess. Y'all might have to come out with some restrictions or something in regards of y'all, a limit or something with the drinks and all that stuff. So good luck to you. All right, so our next topic that we're going to get to is Azealia Banks out here dragging Koonye. She called him a fat, smelly pig. She'd be cackling, but did she lie? So, oh my God, what's going on? So it's like all of a sudden I was like, I thought I lost the topic. But anyway, so Azealia Banks is coming to Nicki Minaj's defense after Koonye went on a rant about the itty bitty piggy rapper not clearing a verse for his tired ass song New Body. Now, after her iHeartRadio Jingle Ball performance on December 14th in Atlanta, Nicki is laser focused on all things Pink Friday too. That means leaving behind anything that will siphon off promotional attention from it, including collaborations that she's done eons ago. Now, unfortunately, that means her leaked viral verse from Kanye West's song New Body might never see the light of day. Now, after Nicki apparently refused to clear the verse, which was set to appear on West's forthcoming joint album Vultures with Ty Dolla $ign, he went on a rant against her. Now, Azealia Banks has inserted herself, as always, into the mix to take up for Nicki's artistic direction. Now, on Saturday, December 16th, in a series of posts on X, formerly Twitter, I can't with this whole X thing. Banks tore into West, basically said, okay, now I'm really pissed the F off. Regardless of how I feel about PF2, did fat, smelly loser Kanye West just really try to step all over Nicki's release? Did I hear correctly that he tried to take credit for supporting her career? Because that is something that he did do. He said in a video that we saw online, he said that I helped that lady's career. Basically saying like because of, and then he made her write her verse for Monster multiple times. I think he said like 3 times he had to rewrite the verse. But It doesn't matter how many times you made her write the verse. Quiet as it's kept. I feel like Nicki's verse on Monster outshine all of y'all. Like, that's the only verse I remember. I don't care. I don't remember who else is on the song. All I know is Nicki's verse on Monster is like she ate all of y'all. And that's no shade. So you sitting there worrying about she basically, you made her write her verse. Maybe you should have rewrote yours instead of worrying about her. So Azealia went on to say, did he forget that Lil Wayne and Young Money supported her, believed in her, and shared their money, time, and resources with her to launch a female rapper to international icon status? Has Kanye ever successfully launched any artist that he hasn't sabotaged out of jealousy? And this is why I always say that with Kanye, you can't be out here trying to throw shade at nobody's career, because don't nobody on, what was his label again? I don't even remember. The people you had on your label, I believe Kid Cudi was on there, Don't Like Your Ass. Tiana Taylor was on your label, Don't Like Your Ass. Like, she had to get out of her contract because you was basically sabotaging her music. Like, to me, it's like, and then I remember hearing that Jay-Z said that he didn't even want to sign Kanye, that Kanye been a mess from back in the day, and that you should have just stayed a beat maker. And that, I totally agree with that. I feel like Kanye should have just stayed in the background making beats like your ass was Swizz Beats, and left the rapping to the professionals. But everybody want to be out here calling him a genius, say he this, he that. Kanye is a fucking clown and a goddamn joke. He ain't no fucking genius. Y'all gonna suck my ass with that. So, I don't know how people can go and give this man these accolades when he's out here wearing full-on Klansman robes and hoods, going against his own people, talking about slavery is a choice, gaslighting everybody he could think about gaslighting. And y'all continue to make excuses for him. Black community continues to make excuses because y'all want old Kanye back. Y'all want through the wire Kanye. Y'all want late registration Kanye. Y'all want college graduate Kanye. That nigga been gone. He ain't coming back. I've been said this from the beginning. Yes, he was given bipolar from the beginning of his career. However, I said since Donna passed away from all that damn surgery she was getting, Kanye's soul jumped in that casket with her when that shit got lowered into the ground. I truly believe that to this day, and I'm standing by it. His spirit done jumped in that damn coffin with Donda and is buried 6 feet under all that dirt after she died from all that damn surgery she was getting, trying to get a 3-for-1 package. So, with all of that being said, it's like at certain points y'all gotta let the old person that y'all value so much go and take them for who they are now. This man is a joke. He is a shell of his former self, and he ain't it no more. And kudos for Azealia for being right about something for once. Now, I do be living for her reads and her shade. Nobody can read like she do. She do throw the reads when she need to. And Kanye do look give fat and smelly. And I heard that them little sock shoes he be wearing is $200 something odd dollars. So he out here scamming y'all with them stupid ass shoes. First he got y'all with them damn moon boots, them Yeezys, and now he getting y'all with sock shoes. It's like, what is the foolishness he gonna come up with next? And people gonna be stupid enough to buy it. $200 a day. I can just throw socks on my own feet and walk outside, and that be that. I ain't walking outside with no damn socks. But here's the thing: it's like, you know what? So while I don't agree with what she said back in the day about, not even back in the day, it was like, what, maybe a month ago, about Troye Sivan when she went in on him. And, I don't agree with what she said on that and a bunch of other things. But here, what she said about Kanye is absolutely right. And to me, it's like, Nicki she's proven who she is on her own accord. Can't nobody take away her pen game. I will say that. Now, the petty stuff and her rants and all the other mess, I be talking about, girl, you doing too much. But for the most part, her talent, her skill set, the fact that Young Money and them believed in her, and Lil Wayne and all this other stuff, yes, they saw her talent and they elevated her to where she is, and all her hard work is why she is, why she is where she is. I couldn't even say the because I think it was why and where and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah, her hard work is what got her to where she is today. I wish she would understand her worth and not worry so much about everybody else's, all the other things that's going on in the world and the sabotage and all the other things that people have been trying to do to her and all the alleged things and, all that stuff. Just focus on the fact that you're talented. You you write your stuff that and you are the talent you are, and you do what you do. Don't worry about all this other stuff. But Kanye, sit your tight ass down. Now I wonder, is y'all gonna go out here and support his music or like his music? I've been stopped listening to Kanye a long time ago. Once he started with the shenanigans, I'm like, okay, I'm out. I'm done. Like I can't get behind the buffoonery and the coonery and all that foolishness. So like I said, I applaud Azealia for coming out and saying what she said, and I'm curious of what she said about Pink Friday too, because I didn't hear anything. So, um, yeah, so I'm not aware of what she said about Pink Friday. I'm assuming she didn't like it based on what she said. Besides what I said about Pink Friday too, so I'm assuming she didn't particularly care for the album. Which, like I've said on this show many a times, the reviews on that has been mixed, not only from critics, but from the Barbs also. Like I told you, I'm friends with a lot of Barbs. I know a lot of people who are Nicki Minaj fans, and I've read the comments, and a lot of them, so some of them said it's the best album they've heard in a while. Some people said they didn't like it, that there's 3 songs, 4 songs, 5 songs tops from the whole album. There's 20 tracks. That they said that they but the rest of the album is trash. So everybody's got their opinion, and I value people's like, as in, people should be entitled to have their opinion. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not into the whole, well, if you don't like something, then you don't know what you're talking about, you're an idiot, you're stupid. Like, I don't do that. So people should be allowed to have their opinion. Oh, you said, how old is your dog and what breed of that? Well, she is a Bulldog Sharpei mix. So it's a pretty big dog. And as far as like her age, I gotta look that. I think she's about 10 in human years. So how much is that dog is in regards of my dog? As in Xena, that's what I'm talking about. So I have 2 dogs, as Prince and Xena, but yeah, Xena is a Bulldog Sharpei mix. It's a big dog too. And one of the things I hate about when you walk dogs, big dogs equal big There was one time I was walking a dog and it was like I didn't have it on a leash, and I regret it to this day that I should. And it was like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh, she's well behaved. She doesn't do anything bad or whatever when it comes to dogs. So I didn't have the dog on a leash and not thinking, like, I was like, oh, I could walk the dog right in the house, not on the leash. Lady walks past with her dog. Xena sees the dog, immediately takes off and starts running. I'm like, chill. So now I had to run after her, get in between. Like, the lady started panicking. I had to pick the dog up real quick. And then Xena's like jumping up, because I think a lot of times when you have a dog, in their mind, they still think they're a lot smaller than they actually are. But it's like, sis, you are huge. So she's trying to jump on the lady, panicking, the dog in the lady arms, Xena trying to get to the other dog because she's so excited to see another dog. She's not going to attack it. She just wants to play with her. Or him. I don't know what the dog was. And I had to jump in between and do like this, make sure that Xena wouldn't run after. I said, like I'm having to do that. So it was a whole panic. But yeah, so there was that. So yeah. I still gotta say, Azealia, Nicki, all y'all good luck. And then yeah, I just got my whole door because I was reading the comment. So really quick, let's talk about this Jonathan Majors thing, because I even told about the whole breaking news situation. Like I said, if y'all hear anything in regards of the breakdown of what this case means, because we just said earlier in the show, if you hadn't heard, that, as literally as soon as I started the show, the verdict came out that Jonathan Majors was found guilty in, I believe, 2 out of the 4 um charges. Somebody sent me the message. What was it? Oh, so they said, no, that's not it. That's a advertisement. So it said, Jonathan Majors found guilty in New York City criminal trial. So that was basically the latest that came out in regards of Jonathan Majors. So I'm sure the story is developing, and I'm sure all the blogs already gotten in and broke down everything. So the next time I do a show, I guess I can find out what all that means. I could Google schmoogle right now. Let's see if really quick, if I can find a story real quick. And then, no, I don't see anything. Oh, wait, because it pulled up something else. Let me see if a story. Okay, so it says, okay, so let's pull up the Hollywood Reporter article. because it does say that he was found guilty. I'm like, shit, since we lied, might as well talk about it, right? Because they said that, well, because the initial story that I was going to bring up before we went live was that Jonathan Majors and Megan Good have pretty much grown closer during his domestic violence trial, and that her deep faith in God has kept him grounded. Now, they basically said that Good was also struggling to deal with the trial. They said it was difficult for her to listen on while Grace Jabari described their abusive relationship in court. Well, I guess it should be difficult for her to listen because sis, if you're not careful, you might be next. So I don't know why a lot of people get in relationships and think, now I don't want to go and say that once a cheater, always a cheater, or once a beater, always a beater. Like I don't want to sit and say that. But sometimes if you heard the last girl got her ass beat for looking at his phone wrong, whatever. Like at least now it's like, oh damn, now I gotta go in a relationship. I know that you cannot grab Jonathan Major's phone while he's on there. Some girl named Cleopatra, who the next one gonna be Nefertiti. She hit him up and be like, oh, I miss you, and I miss you in my arms, whatever the hell that she texted. And then Megan having to say like, who that bitch you talking to, and all that other, because you black, you're gonna have to roll the neck. Like we're not gonna be like Grace Jabari, like, who's that in your phone? Who are you talking to? Like, Megan gonna give that full sass. And then Jonathan gonna be like, grabbing the phone, twisting your arm. Like, you don't necessarily think that because, the last girl didn't get it, that you exempt. Because a lot of people be thinking that. A lot of times, oh, it's not going to happen to me. I got the magic cootie cat that's going to change him. You can't, a leopard ain't never going to change his spots. You can't change a man unless he's willing to change. And to me, based off, I don't know if it's roid rage or however else he was gaining that weight to do the movies where he was putting on all that weight and all that muscle. But Jonathan Majors, I don't know. It's just, Chad, you were danger. So they basically were saying that they've grown closer together and that her belief in God has, because remember, she was a pastor's wife at one point. And then they went their separate ways and all that other stuff. So it basically says, so let's get into this one because I feel like this is more entertaining or more interesting to talk about. And then if anything pops in my head regarding my theories on Jonathan and Megan, I'll incorporate it in the story. So it says the verdict was reached on Monday by a 6-person jury after over 4 hours of deliberation spread across 3 days. So February 6th is when Jonathan Majors will be sentenced. I don't know what that means, but let's read the article and see what is said in the article if they're going to tell us what this means. Oh, hold on now. It does say it. So now it says he's been found guilty of reckless assault in the 3rd degree and guilty of harassment. So those are the 2 things that he was found guilty of. The verdict was reached by a 6-person jury, as I said, where it spread over across 3 days, the deliberation. Jonathan Majors was wearing a gray suit and black dress shirt and tie, sat with his attorneys with family members and his girlfriend Megan Good behind him as the verdict was read. Sentencing is set for February 6th. They said the charges carry a sentence up to 1 year in prison. On 2 other charges, he was found not guilty of intentional assault in the 3rd degree and not guilty of aggravated harassment in the 2nd degree. In total, Majors faces 4 charges of assault, aggravated harassment, and harassment after he called 911 on March 25th when he said he found his ex-partner, Grace Jabari, unconscious in their apartment. Police arrested Majors after finding apparent injuries on Jabari, including a laceration behind her ear and a bruised and fractured finger. Majors pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Now, the last time we talked about the whole Jonathan Majors situation, I did bring y'all those pictures. I showed y'all the pictures and stuff on the show. So if you want to go back and look at it, you can, or you can just Google Schmoogle, the pictures is there. So Jabari, who took the witness stand for the first 4 days of the trial, said Majors had caused the injuries during an altercation in the car several hours before. She testified that alleged incident occurred in a private car where she saw a text from Majors on his phone that read, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari has said that she tried to snatch the phone from Majors, who then pried her finger from the phone, grabbed her arm and right hand, twisted her forearm, and struck her head to get the phone away from her. The first 3 charges are misdemeanor offenses and related to alleged incidences in the car. The fourth charge of harassment, which is a violation. The most minor offense among the charges relates to an allegation that Majors threw Jabari back in the car as she tried to exit. Well, we did see the footage that we did in another episode. I don't know. I think it was all the same episode where I showed y'all the video footage and then I did a little play-by-play, like I was the guy doing the voiceover at the NFL game. So I showed y'all the video footage. I showed y'all the photos and stuff where I couldn't really see the bruise on the finger, but I did see the pictures that I showed y'all of the cut behind the ear that she said that had happened. So with all the evidence and stuff that was admitted, and we as the public was found out after the court unsealed everything, we are looking at it as, well, damn. So Jonathan Majors was out here being this egomaniacal lunatic, bipolar, fighting, in good spirits one minute, fighting the next. He's violent towards women. So now you've been painted as a woman beater. This is giving me Amber Heard, Johnny Depp tease. Now, what I'm wondering is, if this is a similar situation where there was domestic violence going between the two, if Johnny Depp and Amber Heard didn't get into trouble in regards of jail time, I do not think that Jonathan Majors should get jail time. I think he should be given probation for a couple of years where he can't get into any kind of trouble. If he violates that, then he goes to jail for, I guess, give him a year or two. But y'all be so quick to want to throw a black man in prison and put him in the system. He's already in the system because, the whole court situation, being arrested. So I'm hoping that that's what happens with this situation. That it's like, give him probation. He has to stay on the straight and narrow, get his life. Because, I always say one thing I don't like is when people get into some mess, and what happens is all of a sudden when you get in a relationship with a white woman, stuff happens, your ass get arrested because she Emmett Tills you. Then all of a sudden, y'all want to find your way black to black pussy. Then when you get to a point in your life where your ass about to be locked up and your whole life is about to be ruined, then all of a sudden y'all find God. Y'all want to walk up in here wearing berets like you members of the Black Panther Party and suit and ties, which you should wear if you go into court anyway. Like, nobody should be coming in no damn jeans and a t-shirt. And then all of a sudden you walking around with a Bible and you found Jesus. It's funny how like a lot of people find the Lord, as Medea would say, the Lord, when the shit hits the fan. I hate when people do that because it just feels disingenuous. So with that, now, like I said, I don't want him to see jail time, but I do want him to pay. Meaning, you know what? He learned his lesson. Hopefully he learned his lesson. And then you just put him on probation, have him do some community service, and call it a day. Now, my question is, what does the future hold for his acting career? Because he didn't do anything to harm anybody in Hollywood, but I understand how Hollywood works. Perception is everything. So if you're going to be working in the Hollywood industry, the last thing you want is someone coming at you and being like, well, we're going to continue to have him work for Disney, because Disney's all about wholesome, family oriented, like that sort of thing. So I pretty much feel like he's done as Kang. Hollywood is pretty much, well, I don't know if Hollywood is done with him. I think he could still work. Look, Mel Gibson's out here still making movies, and he's done a lot of problematic stuff. Remember the stuff when he allegedly beat the Russian girlfriend or whatever that he had? That whole situation. He's still making years. They straight to Hulu or straight to video or however they do it now, straight to streaming. He's not in like a big movie, except wasn't Mel Gibson in a movie that was in the movies? I can't remember what it was, but I could have sworn he was in a Hollywood movie. And people was mad about that. But I have seen like recently he has been in a lot of straight to Hulu stuff, because every now and again I be scrolling on Hulu looking for like one of those mindless action movies, and I do be seeing, because I have my guilty pleasures, and I do be seeing Mel Gibson head in the picture because they trying to get y'all to watch it or whatever it is he's doing. But like I said, so I don't want so to wrap this whole thing up, I don't want Jonathan Majors to go to jail. I do think that, you know what, the sentencing should just be probation, community service, 5,000 hours. I don't know. Pick a number. Have him do community service, and then that's that. Now, the Hollywood thing, good luck with you. I don't know if you ever going to be able to work in Hollywood again. I know that bodybuilding movie that he's supposed to come out, that was shelved. I don't know if that's ever going to see the light of day. I heard great reviews about the movie. This movie that he's done, I forgot the name of it, but he's supposed to be playing this bodybuilder, whatever. Look, We already got Zac Efron getting rave reviews for the movie he's in. He's playing a wrestler, which a friend of mine, one of my really good friends, Esteban, told me that's a really good movie that he's in with him and the Jeremy Allen White. I don't know. There's something about Jeremy Allen White. I've been finding him sexy lately. Whatever. I have tastes all over the place. Don't judge. But I want to see that movie. I forgot the name. The names is escaping me right now, but I do want to see that movie. I think it's called the Iron Claw or something on there. But anyway, back to Jonathan Majors. I want him to not go to jail, community service, Hollywood, however y'all gonna do his career, figure that out. Good luck to you, sir. Cause I don't know. I think you're pretty, like I said, I think you're pretty much done with Disney. Disney's done with you. I'm curious who they're gonna pick to play Kang now. Um, so we'll see what Hollywood said. Now that the verdict's out there, I'm sure within the next 24 hours, Hollywood is going to make the decision and they're going to come out and say who their new Kang is or where we're going with phase 5, because phase 4 was the best. So we're going to find out what's going on with that. So good luck to you, sir. And Megan, may the odds be forever in your favor, because now with all this out here, we'll see how long you stand by your man and all of that stuff. Okay, so we have 3 more topics to get to, and then we are done with today's show. So, look, black people ain't the only ones out here that's oh, wait, hold on, because we got comments, and I should get to those before we move on to the next topics. So Robert said Nicki wants to do a world tour. She could only do the UK, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand. Only English speaking markets. She's not charting good with English is the main language. There's certain artists out there whose music doesn't really do well in a lot of markets. And I feel like, yeah, Nicki is gonna have to, she's not gonna be able to do a world tour, meaning like you're not Madonna, where you can do America, parts of Europe, like the UK, 5 dates in the UK, France, Amsterdam, parts of Latin America. Like Madonna can go to Latin America and sell it out because her music has been Latin influence. And she does the whole Bible. So the Latin community loves Madonna. So she can go there and do that. I don't know how well her music will, Nicki's music, I do not think will do well in like a Brazil or a Spain, a Portugal. Portugal, Brazil, they're all within the same thing because they speak Portuguese. But I can't see her selling out a lot of those places. So I do see like, okay, she can go to the UK and do it because the British queens love her. She could possibly do Ireland. Ireland is a small island. Australia, I don't know. Look, Pink pretty much got Australia on lock. Like she goes to Australia, she could pretty much do a residency there and just sell that shit out for a year. And New Zealand is a small little island too. So she could do a lot of those English markets, but Nicki, even though she is an international artist, I do not think that she is that big crossover star where she can really rack it in like she would in America. Like she has an audience here too. So come through breaking news, okay? That's what I said. Hold on now. If I got if I'm here, might as well just do everything now and bring it up instead of waiting to. I'm gonna wait till because I'm sure a lot of people probably jumping on social media now on their YouTube channels or whatever and trying to break the news. Child, I was here breaking the news when it was happening. Look, it don't happen often, but it happened. Okay, so look. Black people ain't the only ones out here that's getting their feet held to the fire being accused of rape. Because, we had Diddy, we had Jamie Foxx, we had so many long lists of black folks that y'all was going in, moguls and stuff that y'all was trying to put on blast. But look, white people out here being messy too. So Motley Crue, and I got to be fair. I can't only just talk about when the Diddies or whoever come out here allegedly assault women. Tommy Lee out here, smacking women in the face with that big old ding-a-ling of his, allegedly. Well, I don't know if that's what happened. I'm just saying, because we've seen how big it is. We've seen the video. Shout out to Pam Anderson and that infamous sex tape. Pam Anderson walked so Kim Kardashian could run, remember? So in the complaint filed Friday in Los Angeles, the Jane Doe plaintiff accuses Lee, as in Tommy Lee, of forcibly groping, kissing, and penetrating her with his fingers and attempting to force her to perform oral copulation during the 40-minute trip from San Diego County to Van Nuys, California in February 2003. So this incident happened damn near 20 years ago. Well, 20 years ago, because it was February 2003. It's 2023. We're about to step into 2024. So shout out to Rolling Stone for this story. So it says the new lawsuit obtained by Rolling Stone states that the woman met the pilot, identified as David Martz, around early 2002 when he patronized a San Diego bank where she was working as a teller. The two struck up a friendship and would occasionally meet for lunch at a restaurant called Casa Machado. The filing claims Martz, excuse me, invited the woman to ride in his helicopter, but she was hesitant at first because she had never ridden in one before. This is what the lawsuit states. Eventually, the woman agreed, and in early 2003, she met Martz in an airfield for what she thought would be a sightseeing trip around San Diego County. Upon arrival, the woman says that she was told there was a last-minute change of plans, and she and Martz would be flying Lee up to Los Angeles instead. Quote, within a matter of minutes of being airborne, Martz pulled out alcohol he had stored in the helicopter and began to mix drinks, the complaint alleges. The woman says Martz handed her a drink and she did not consume. She claims Martz and Lee drank, smoked weed, and snorted cocaine during the flight. At one point, Martz asked her through the helicopter's headphone system why she was not drinking and stated that she would just relax. She should just relax. Lawsuit alleges. Well, when him trying to encourage her to drink, you thinking maybe he spiked it and he put something in it? Hold on. 'Cause I feel a cough coming on. I need to drink this flavored water before I continue. So the woman claims Martz eventually ordered her up to the cockpit to sit on Lee's lap to get the best view. Feeling immense pressure, she acquiesced, the filing states. Almost immediately, Lee began groping and kissing her, and when she attempted to pull away, he only became more forceful. At one point, Lee penetrated plaintiff with his fingers while fondling her breast. Lee then pulled down his pants and attempted to force plaintiff's head towards his genitals. By this point, plaintiff was in tears, but she had nowhere to go. She was trapped with little mobility to leave the cockpit. The woman claims Martz merely watched an alleged assault and said nothing to her as they flew back to San Diego after dropping Lee in Van Nuys. The plaintiff says she had no contact with Martz for several years, but spoke to him by phone in 2009 when he called to catch up. The conversation was very short, and then Martz died in a Cessna accident in August 2015. And I was like, girl, why don't you sue him? Well, apparently she can't because he's dead. I'm not laughing at that, I'm just saying. So now she's going after Tommy Lee. And I know what the question is going to be. Everybody's going to be like, well, why you may come down and say something? Why are people waiting so long to speak out about abuse? Is there a money grab? And that's always a go-to with everybody. It's like, can people just tell they shit without y'all automatically just... Is the word slut shaming, like slut shaming, abuse shaming, like any kind of, like y'all always out here trying to, shame abusers, but y'all don't hold the people who hold the abuse into accountability. It's the same thing about this story with Christian Keys that I reported on Saturday, because I was like, I had to get on that immediately, where he was out here talking about a mogul in the industry had sexually harassed him. And people was like, well, why didn't you say nothing? Because people in powerful positions, like, who's going to believe you? Or they have a way of just ruining your life and destroying your livelihood and your career and all this other stuff. And so I don't know what caused this girl to wait 20 years to speak about an incident that happened where a rock star, a drummer from a iconic 80s hair metal band, tried to assault her. And the question remains, okay, now the her tea is out there, are there going to be other women that come forward? Because you always know where there's smoke, there's fire. So are there other women that's going to come forward and speak out against Tommy Lee? I honestly don't know what else to say on this, except that I will keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. But, we're inclined to believe people when they say this is what happened to them. So it's up to the courts to decide what's going to transpire from this. Is he going to go to jail? Is she looking for money or whatever the situation is? I don't know. But people, y'all cannot be out here just assaulting people and just doing whatever they want. We are from a time meaning like the 90s, 2000s, where you hear a lot of these stories coming out. And I feel like a lot of people need to pay attention to the timelines. Because, when they say, well, why y'all wait so long? I'll tell you why. Because in the 90s, the 2000s, a lot of that time, even prior to that, because remember, like, we could bring Bill Cosby up. When he was going, back before the Cosby Show and back in the 70s and the 60s, when those stories was coming out about him. And so many others that have done these things. You have to think about the times. There was no social media. there wasn't a way that women were believed in a lot of assault and stuff. It's not until the Me Too Time's Up era that people started paying attention to women's stories of being abused. We've been hearing the ongoing theme of, yeah, it's not just women that are abused in the industry, it's men as well. That there's been many of stories, casting couches, that they feel like, well, oh, you're a hot guy. If you want to have this big career, I need you to come to my office. I need you to strip down and get naked, and I'll pay you money because I want to see you naked, or I want to take pictures of you so I can pleasure myself to your body later on. Or come over here, let me just put your meat in my mouth. Like, there's all kinds of crazy shit that people in this industry do where they use their power to hold people's careers in their hands. Now, this girl is not somebody who wanted to get in the industry. It just so happened that she wanted to hang out with this guy, and they went up in the helicopter. I heard the guy was fired from his job because his license as a pilot was suspended multiple times. But if it was suspended multiple times, how the hell he was able to get up there and fly a helicopter? Um, you know, with no issue. Like, who wasn't checking his credentials? That's what I don't get. So I don't think she should just go after Tommy Lee. You need to go after the helicopter, the company he worked for, and say, like, well, how y'all let this man run up in here and do what all those? Well, I don't know if there's statute of limitations, if she could do something about that. But look, we've been hearing so many stories about pilots and being on drugs and doing all kinds of stuff. Remember the story about Aaliyah and the pilot that was flying that plane? They said he had booger sugar in his system. So people need to be really careful out here when it comes to these type of situations. So good luck to you, Jane Doe. And I don't know, Tommy, your reputation out here, you looking a little crazy. So hopefully y'all are able to work this out. So breaking news, King is being recast. Matus was dropped by Marvel. Okay, thank you for that. So I figured that was gonna happen because I was like, within the next 24 hours, I had a strange feeling that Jonathan Majors was going to that his, they were Hollywood was waiting because everybody was like, what they gonna do? What's Disney gonna do? Are y'all gonna drop him or what? So I knew that what Disney wanted to do, they wanted to protect themselves because I keep telling y'all, reputation. Don't jump the gun and be a mess like Spyglass did with Scream. Because now looking at what they did, now they're getting the backlash. Disney ain't trying to deal with that. They already dealing with the MCU being a mess, trying to fix that up. The whole Bob Chapek situation, Bob Iger trying to come back and fix the mess that Bob Chapek done started. Quite as was kept, Bob Iger ain't no innocent in this either, based off of some of the stuff I read. But um, but Chapek took the downfall on a lot of stuff, so now he gets to swoop in and save the day. But neither one is innocent, I'll say that. But at this point, I was like, okay, so now y'all gotta recast Kang, and I knew that was gonna happen. But what Disney was gonna do was they were gonna wait and see what was gonna happen before they were gonna be like, well, you know what? We're done with Jonathan Majors, so they had to protect themselves because they can't be out here being like, "Oh, we're gonna have to fire him before we hear something." He was dropped by his agency before the trial, before we even knew all the stuff that was going on. So the agency already dumped him. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so now let's get to our next topic, which is Fantasia, who, is out here promoting the color purple. Like I said, whoever her stylist is, give them a hand. I did call them a she pronoun, and my friend at Crüe said that her stylist was a he, but every man, if you a stylist, gay, whatever, y'all know. In the gay community, we give men she pronouns. That's just what we do. Um, Unless, I guess, if you're non-binary and all other stuff, then I understand. But for the most part, everybody get the she pronoun. Unless you're like, I'm not a she, I'm a they. So, she's been out here promoting the color purple, and she's been nominated for a Golden Globe. Kudos to her. But she is putting an Airbnb on blast, and she says that they racially profiled her and her family during a trip. So now, shout out to Entertainment Weekly for this story. She said in a tweet that she posted on Twitter, because like I said before, I ain't calling that other thing. She said, my stomach is so uneasy this morning as I'm riding back to my home in the cold and rain. This is what she wrote on Twitter. She said, I don't say much when people do me wrong, but I can't stay quiet on how my family and I were treated from a host with at Airbnb help, trying to kick my kids and I out at 12 midnight. Marino says that the host accused her of having a loud party because they saw balloons being dropped off and a game truck with no generator in the early part of the day. She continued, the amount of guests we reserved for are the amount of guests who stayed the night. They never said they weren't allowed to have any company over. This is what the American Idol alum went on to explain, that the house was clearly meant for parties, noting its amenities and leftover equipment from a previous party. It's evident to me that this was racial profiling and the treatment we received was due to the color of our skin. I wanted my son to enjoy his friends, 10 to 12-year-olds, and make him feel special as I've been traveling for the past 35 plus days promoting a movie I starred in. This time I did not stay quiet. And so she went on Instagram to further elaborate on the incident, writing that without warning, we were asked to leave. So at 6 a.m. in the freezing rain with sleepy kids, we loaded up 4 vehicles, respectfully cleaned and organized everything back to its original place, and we left. Child, I'd have left that shit a mess. Cause you're not gonna treat me like no shit and then mess me up. Girl, put the Airbnb on blast, let people know where this house is. Now we're not gonna go and TP it with no toilet paper. Toilet paper skip, we need toilet paper to wipe our ass. So we're not going to TP the house with the toilet paper. What we're going to do is we need to put the house on blast so we know not to spend our money at that Airbnb. Because here it is that if the house is intentionally set up to be a party house and y'all knew what the tea was, and now all of a sudden, because y'all seeing balloons and a bunch of black people up in there, I already know how y'all was coming, what kind of energy y'all was coming with. Y'all was coming with, oh, they're about to be loud and ghetto and rowdy and they're about to tear my house up or whatever the case is. Well, if that's what y'all worrying about, then you should not be loaning out this Airbnb to be a place where people go and have a party or whatever the case was, if that's what your concern is. Because if you're going to sit up in here and profile black folks because you assuming that we're going to be loud, where hello, white people just be just as messy, just as loud, just as rude, just as disrespectful. I watch all them Twitter videos where the Karens be Karen it and y'all be doing all kinds of other stuff. So we're not going to only put this off on black people. So when Fantasia says that she was racially profiled, I'm inclined to believe it, because I'd be damned if you're going to have me up in here. See, that's her being a Southern belle, because me, I'd let that house all kinds of dirty. I'd be like, well, bitch, you gonna clean it up. And if you try to take my ass to court to clean it, then we just gonna have to tussle in the courtroom. So I'm not cleaning nothing, because first of all, you gonna tell me that take my money or whatever the case is, but then make me leave because you didn't like the fact that we was having a party up in the house that you set up as to be a party house. So Fantasia, I feel for you. I don't know what you plan on doing. I mean, you plan on suing, or you plan on, or is this just something you wanted to just bring awareness to people based off of the way you were treated? But I do hope that you put the house on blast so that way people know not to rent from that place. That's the least that I would do. It's like, well, even if I were to take the high road and be like her, and that's the ratchet, I don't give a fuck side. Like me, like leave the house a mess, and y'all come up in there and clean that mess up. That'd be my side. But the more practical side would be, I would be more, I would clean up the place and all this other stuff. But also, what I would do is take the social media and be like, this is the house. Don't go there. Don't give them your money. Don't do it. Like, I would take business from them, because I feel like people are inclined, unfortunately, it's just the way it is. People will listen to a celebrity more than they listen to, they neighbor or their friend or whatever. People tend to listen to celebrities more. So if I was her, that's what I would have did. So good luck to you, Fantasia. I'm sad that, that this happened to you, but people out here, y'all are some people out here asshole. This is why I said, this is why I watch, the old shows from like the 90s and the 2000s, because people out here just be ignorant, messy, just dumb for no reason. It's just always so much anger and hatred and stuff going on. Okay, so let me read the comment before I get to my last topic, which is Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner. So the consequences that made it is bringing the fact that Ezra was still allowed to be the Flash. But the Flash also flopped. Say, this is not excusing the behavior, because I do agree with that. Like, I don't like the fact that Ezra Miller was kind of given the whatever, like he did appear on the red carpet for the movie premiere. I do remember that. He was not asked to do interviews. He did not promote the film. The movie also got panned. Like, some people liked it, some people hated it. I'm somewhere in the middle. I was entertained by it. I will say this: I have not watched the movie ever since because I despised that messy, shitty special effects that they had in the film. The CGI was terrible. I cannot sit through that movie because it just either y'all corrected it, which I doubt, because they ain't gonna put up no more money to fix things. But the special effects was trash. And there were parts of the movie that I liked, parts of the movies I didn't like. It just felt a little uneven for me. But I do agree with that. It's not fair that this whole Ezra Miller thing happened. But then again, some people say they already filmed The Flash. The Flash was sitting on a shelf for like, what, a good year. They kept going in for reshoots because things weren't working. And then they had to continue to change things. Once they brought James Gunn and Peter Safran in, they had to change some things. So, with all of that being said, they had to figure out how to make everything work, especially with them changing up stuff. Because now I'm hearing that Matt Reeves has a Gotham series coming out based off Arkham Asylum, which we did hear about, but they said that's going to be playing into the DCU. So, there's a lot of stuff that's changing, and they're trying to figure things out, and they're keeping Sholo Mariduena for Blue Beetle, but they then got rid of every damn body else. We get a new Wonder Woman. We got a new Superman. We got a new Batman. Well, that's Pattinson. But then we're also getting a new Batman for the Brave and the Bold. So there's a lot of changes going on. Once Aquaman comes and goes, which Aquaman does come out this Friday. Then after that, I feel like the slate being wiped clean. Jason Momoa is probably going to play Lobo. I think he's done as Aquaman. I think he has been signed on to play Lobo. They're not saying it, but I think that's the next thing. So I think he will be in the DCU. They're going to make change. I know people still want the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse didn't work. Let's move on. Zack Snyder done moved on. He's doing Rebel Moon. That's coming out this Friday too. So I just realized that. I just realized that, like, it just hit me. Was there shade? So they have, remember, the DC did them wrong with the whole Snyderverse. So now we got Rebel Moon coming out the same day as Aquaman. So now I'm sitting there thinking, did they intentionally do that? Like, Netflix is kind of throwing a little dagger at Warner Brothers because of how they treated Zack Snyder. So now they got his movie coming out the same day. Only thing is, y'all screwed up Netflix. This could have been an opportunity for y'all to make some money with Rebel Moon. Y'all should have put that out in the theater. So that way you can make a little coin and then put it on Netflix. But I ain't going to keep telling Netflix how to do their damn job. They want to keep burning money, but they want to charge me $22 goddamn dollars to subscribe to some Netflix without commercials. So I do agree with Robert with what you're saying. I know it was a long-winded thing, but when you're talking about DCU and everything, it's a lot that you got to put up in there. I do agree. It's not fair what they did with Ezra Miller and all this other stuff, but like I said, the film was already done. They had to do the reshoots. They had to stick within it. It would have cost way more money to recast and bring another actor in there. So they were like, well, damn, we're screwed. We're stuck with this movie. We got to ride it out. And that's that. But look, the reality is, have we seen Ezra in anything since The Flash? We haven't. So I don't know what's happening with his career. So he's pretty much like he's kind of disappeared. And then, we haven't seen Johnny Depp, although Amber Heard is in the new Aquaman movie. I don't know. I've been hearing bad reviews about Aquaman. I don't know. I'm gonna wait till that come out on Max or something. I'm not going to movies to see that. I was so disappointed with the first one, and I love me some Jason Momoa, but I did not particularly care for I didn't like the first Aquaman movie. I just didn't think it was that good. It had this moment, like it was like 1 2 hour long ass shampoo commercial. That's what it felt like, with him flopping that hair around that was all wet and him being all muscular. It felt a little homoerotic and a little bit like a shampoo commercial. So there's that. So good luck to you, Jonathan Majors. Snyderverse got negative reviews. It was pretty dark and changed the characters. Also heard Netflix it is $22.99. It's a lot of money. That is crazy. And I think it's gonna flop for a number of reasons. I don't think it's just gonna be Amber Heard. I think she may be part of it, but I think also it's just it doesn't look good. There's nothing exciting about this film that's like, okay, what's different than that you've given fans of comic movies that we haven't seen already? It just feels like it's a paint by numbers thing of things we've already seen. It's some shiny, glossy, colorful movie with the same beats of an action film. Like, it's nothing different. It's not like, okay, Deadpool, we're gonna get something different with that. Or, Logan was like a different take on a superhero movie, or The Batman was a different take on a superhero movie, or the Dark Knight trilogy. When it's kind of in those vibes, like what can you do that's going to give us a different take? Or like Captain America. When we watched Captain America, the Russo brothers one, they went in more of a espionage direction. So it was like James Bond with superheroes. So it kind of gave us that. So it was like a different take on the superhero genre. That's what I think people want. They don't want just like your typical, oh, let's just stick a bunch of things on there and special effects and that'll get us to watch. No, it's gotta have that angle that's gonna be a reason for me to spend $30 to come see your movie in IMAX. Because IMAX ain't cheap, not in New York. And if I go to IMAX, you know how much money I'd be spending to go see an IMAX movie? It's like over $30. So I think we need a break from comics, and I feel everybody is tired of franchises. Unfortunately, I do feel like, see, in the beginning, I did think there was something called superhero fatigue. And I was like, no, it's not superhero fatigue. I think it's mediocre superhero fatigue. Like, people are tired of mediocre ass movies playing within the superhero universe because y'all thinking just because the superhero movie, we're going to support it. But now I'm starting to think that the people might be right. I think it is superhero fatigue. I think people are getting tired of like everything having to be sworn with superheroes. I do think like we do need something different and something new brought to the table. This is why original IPs like Oppenheimer and Barbie, even though I did see Barbie finally yesterday, and Barbie was okay. I didn't think it was that as great as everybody made it out to be, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did like the message. I hate nail hit on the head. Like, I hate those hammer at home messages. Like, I got the message. Like, I'm all about, women could be anything they put their mind to. Like, I truly believe that story. So I do, not story, but I do believe that women could be anything they put their mind to, and that, you shouldn't have to compromise and water yourself down and dilute your personality or who you are to make men feel comfortable. And that's kind of like the message that they were driving home. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I still haven't seen Oppenheimer, but I'm waiting for that to come on because I'm not paying 25, $30 for to rent a movie that I'm only gonna watch once. So if I'm, paying, because Oppenheimer is not something I'm gonna watch on repeat. I'm not. I love Christopher Nolan, but not to the point of like my friend. My friend Esteban loves Christopher Nolan. Like anything Chris Nolan puts out, he will go see. My aesthetic, I'm more like, even though they're kind of in similar, situations, I'm more of Denis Villeneuve type of like guy. Like, I'm looking forward to Dune 2. Dune was my thing. The Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, all the movies that Denis has done, I've been a fan of. So he's more my, and they're kind of similar in their whole styles of directing and stuff. So, so he's Team Nolan, I'm Team Denis. So that's kind of like how we are when we battle with, well, it's not a battle. I created a battle out of nothing. Um, it's no longer about celebrities or the talent. It's more about the story. Exactly. And that's why I think a lot of people forget to this, until then, let me get to this final topic, which is pretty much just something I could be done with in 2 minutes. Um, but yeah, at this point, it's like we don't have Hollywood movie stars anymore. Who's the next Tom Cruise? Who's the next Julia Roberts? Who is the next on the black side? Who's the next Will Smith? Like, we don't have the next generation of superstars. And I think at this point, people don't care anymore. Like, people aren't into celebrity like that. And I think it's probably because of social media. Anybody at this point, and what's his name? Whose name? Andy Warhol said it. Everybody's going to have their 15 minutes. Everybody and anybody could be a famous celebrity at some point in their life. And I feel like that's what the world has morphed itself into. And I feel like that's what we are. So, we don't have the next generation big movie star that could sell out a box office film or whatever the case is. It's just the actor shows up, does the movie, and if the movie's good, people will go and support it. So maybe actors need to focus on acting and not trying to be, the next big movie star. He's anti-streaming, so either buy the physical. Yeah, he is anti-streaming, and I feel like Chris Nolan, you need to get with the program or you're gonna get left. Because I understand you're anti-streaming, but that's the way people are watching movies. And now we're getting to a point where physical media is becoming more scarce. Like, we just heard I was about to say Blockbuster. Best Buy is stopping selling all physical media. And if the companies are going out of business and they're not going to be creating physical media, what's going to happen? Like, how are we going to support physical media if the companies are going to stop distributing it? So he needs to figure that out. Unless you're gonna create your own little physical place and press CDs and get people to buy it, because that's the only way people are gonna get it. So it needs to be digital downloads, because that's the point. Although I've been hearing that PlayStation has lost licensing for certain shows, I think, or whatever the case is. So now they can't get they lost the licensing. So for certain shows that you watch, but I think that's all like Discovery stuff. I don't watch Cake Boss and all that crap, so it don't bother me. But it eventually, I feel like it's going to affect the movie industry, and it may affect films. Like if they lose licensing to, say, a movie that they have that I love, like Blade. I can't watch it on digital no more. So then, how am I going to watch it on the physical? Because I got the physical DVD. I'm gonna watch it. So, if y'all stop creating DVD machines or whatever the case is, now you gotta use the old PlayStation, and I do have the PS4. So, PS5. My father has one. I didn't get a PS5. My ex roommates have PS5s. They had like 3 of them actually. Whatever. So there's that. Also, our Gen Z won't even go out. I should have. Oh, okay. So, well, you want to know something? I know I've been saying I'm gonna get to the next topic, but I do feel like COVID has affected their social skills. I even feel like at a point that COVID has affected my ability to be out socially, because before COVID, and I will tell you, like in all honesty, before COVID, I used to be out all the time. I used to be out at parties. I used to go to clubs. I used to want to hang out and do stuff. But post COVID, with everything that's been going on, and now I'm hearing, like, especially in New York, COVID numbers on the rise and RSV and all that other stuff. I've had a really hard time. Like, I feel like my social anxiety has gotten crazier post COVID, where it's like there be times where I've made plans to go out, be it to a show, meet up with people, or go out to parties. And literally the day of, I go through like my social anxiety gets bad to the point where it's just like I literally have to come up with an excuse not to go out or do stuff. And I know there's medication. Child, I'm not trying to get caught up in these prescription medication. That's these drug dealers with licenses. I'll do some weed because marijuana. But I've realized, and I'm glad I'll speak out, because I was like, I don't only just want to talk about celebrities and spill their business. I'll tell my business too, because I feel like that makes you more relatable in a lot of situations. I'm sure if there's people out here that understand and going through the same thing, definitely let me know in the comments. But for the most part, I just feel like a lot of times I have those moments where it's just like my anxiety gets really bad to where I don't want to go out. And I do feel like it's because of the whole COVID thing. I think it's scared a lot of people for wanting to be out and hang out. And I think it's messed with a lot of people's mental health. And I feel like it's messed with me in a lot of ways too, where it's just like, I don't want to go out. We will never be federal legal. Yeah, because pharmacies don't want to lose money. And this is why I will never go into big pharma. My mother was totally against um, putting me on medication, because they tried to put me on medication as a kid, saying I had ADHD and all this other stuff, and she refused it. I'm glad she didn't, because then I probably would be, talking to y'all like Christian Keys was trying to tell y'all who that man was that allegedly abused him. Like, it took him an hour just to get to the point. So, I'm not trying to be long-winded like Dorit. So sometimes you want to get to the point. Dorit from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, for those of you who don't watch the show. That's why I always refer to her, because she take 20 years to get to the damn point. It's like, man, you really love hearing yourself talk. Okay, so now let's get to our final topic, because we were on that long tangent. But you know what? And the one thing I love, that's why I said I love about doing this show, is the fact that the interaction with the viewers that's watching. And it's like, if you relate to certain things or the story or the conversations or whatever, and it kind of keeps that whole conversation going. So that's one of the many things I love about doing a show, especially a live stream. And Chad, this might be is this the first show that I've done that's over 2 hours? Because normally I'll be keeping it short, but there's a lot that happened today. So it is what it is. Oh, I forgot to put in the final topic, which was Bad Bunny. But anyway, so I'm just going to have to talk about it. Oh, wait, no, not Fantasia, child. Let's just keep it as Chris Avalon. So our final topic is basically Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner reportedly have called it quits because I forgot to put the damn heading in the show. But I probably could do that as excuse me, as I talk to y'all. Can I put it in there? Yes, I can. Give me a second. Cause it's like I could do it in 2 seconds flat. There we go. So now take two. Okay, so now let's get to our final topic, which is basically Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner have reportedly called it quits. So there were rumors that came out a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if I did it on this show or if I remember talking about it on my thekrisavalon.com website, but I don't remember if I did it as a hot topic on a previous show that I've done of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm not sure because I do so many topics I can't remember them all. However, a couple of weeks ago, I reported, and maybe it might have been last month, that I reported that the word on the curve was Bad Bunny, who was 29, and the model Kendall Jenner, who was a year younger, 28, had called it quits. So, according to people, it has been confirmed that they are no longer together, and it said that the pair were last spotted together at the SNL after party in October when Bad Bunny took on double duty as host and musical guest on the show. I will say I did not watch the episode, but I did watch the skit he did with Pedro Pascal, which was hilarious. I love me some Pedro Pascal. I'm looking forward to the new season that he's doing. Well, Mandalorian and The Last of Us. Looking forward to that, and hopefully, fingers crossed that the rumors are true that he's about to play. Um, what the hell's his name? In Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, that he's supposed to be playing Reed Richards. I do like that look because I'm like, it's different. So I'm actually hoping that he's playing that character. But anyway, so that was the last time they were spotted together. Now, reps for both Bad Bunny and Jenner did not respond to people's requests for comment, but they said the recording artist, whose real name is Benito Martinez Ocasio, and Jenner first sparked romance rumors in February when they were spotted joining Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber on a double date. At the time, a source told people that they were introduced by friends after the rapper relocated to LA. Kendall recently started hanging out with him. She likes him and is having fun. The romance heated up through the spring as the pair was spotted horseback riding together and cozying up to one another at Coachella. So they had been spotted out in a lot of places. Then they were hanging out at Fashion Week. I've seen them at a bunch of ball games. Where they were hanging out. It says the 818 Tequila founder seemingly fit the event with the Titi Mi Pregunto artist into her busy Fashion Week schedule, as just hours after the Gucci show, she herself walked the runway for Versace. Yes, it is Versace. It will always be Versace, never Versace, because showgirls. So we always got to call it Versace. But anyway, so yeah, they broke up. Child, first of all, can we talk? First of all, I did not believe that they were an item. I never believed I never believed for 1 second that they were into each other like that. So I felt like it was a PR thing. And I know a lot of people was like, well, what would Bad Bunny have to gain from being with a Kendall Jenner? Press. I mean, yeah. The reality is Bad Bunny has become a huge superstar without having to speak a lick of English in his music. He never had to compromise his music the way that an Enrique Iglesias, a Ricky Martin, a Shakira, a Jennifer Lopez, even though she barely speaks Spanish. But so we'll take J-Lo out of that, but we'll talk about her ex-husband, Mark Anthony. He's more or less the salsa guy, but at one point he tried to cross over and do pop. It didn't work out for him. I Need to Know was the only song everybody knows. But when it comes to the Spanish, Mark got that down pat. Like he is the king of salsa at this point in the Spanish music community. So we definitely got to give Mark his flowers for that. And I do love his music. I even believe he had a hand in when he was married with J-Lo, he was trying to get her to enunciate her Spanish a little better when she was trying to cross over and do the Latin music. So remember the Latin explosion back in the 2000s. We had all the Spanish artists, and Shakira didn't speak a lick of English when she first started out. She went and got taken under the wing of Emilio and Gloria Estefan, and they, helped her out, and they crossed her over into the Anglo market. And people like Bad Bunny, so many others, but Bad Bunny, I will say, Daddy Yankee was one who was like the king of reggaeton, but Bad Bunny is the one that he's knocked it out of the park in regards to his career and never had to compromise speaking English. However, if you want to cross over into the American market in other ways, I feel like he got with Kendall because it was good press to get him out there into those markets. It got him on SNL, it got him in all those other things. And I'm sure they would have had him on SNL eventually, because when you are that artist that is so big that the American market can't ignore you, and a lot of times they do look the other way until, you know, your appearance and everything about you is so loud and so deafening that the majors have to acknowledge you, the MTVs, the Grammys, all these other people. Then they have you on their show, and then we get ignorant situations where speaking another language, whatever it was that they said when he was speaking Spanish at the Grammys, and they put that dumb shit at the bottom because they couldn't hire nobody that speaks Spanish to translate, and put what he had up and put at the bottom. Y'all couldn't have did that for the closed caption. And this goes to show like the amount of people they have in these businesses that's working. But anyway, so I feel like that's what that was, to kind of give him more cachet into the industry where he's going to cross over and possibly star in American films, like he was in the movie with Brad Pitt that I liked. The what was it called? Bullet Train. I almost said Money Train. J-Lo was in Money Train. He was in Bullet Train. Then he did the Cassandra movie where, you know, the gay wrestler film that's on Prime Video. And so he's been crossing over doing a lot of things in our market and stuff. And then one friend said, mine said that they probably broke up on social media. I forgot who it was, but one friend said on social media, said, oh, he probably got tired of speaking to her. And she kept going, huh? So, and there was a moment where it did say in the thing where he said, with some people I speak English, with some specific people, with one of them I couldn't talk to her before. So there could be some truth to that, that maybe it was just like, you know, I can't even speak English to this broad, and she not willing to, is she willing to sit down and get a Rosetta Stone and learn how to speak Spanish? Because, you know, I mean, I've never heard Kendall get with. Has Kendall ever gotten with a black man? First of all, I didn't believe she liked penis, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But anyway, so let's see what other comments. Oh, smart decision he made. Child, first of all, the moment I heard he got with the Kardashians, I was like, because they're gonna do to you what they did to everybody else. Like everybody, every man that runs through that Kardashian mill come out half-past crazy, or something wrong with them. You see what happened to Koonye and you know, Lamar Odom and the rest of them people that came out that family. Like the minute you go through that Jenner mill, nobody comes out the same. Travis Scott, was it? Is he the one that was with Kylie? Yeah, because ASAP is with Rihanna. You know, sometimes I be getting, look, I know we're not supposed to get people mixed up, but y'all can't tell me that ASAP and Travis don't look alike. They kind of favor each other. But anyway, so we have come to the end of our show. This might be the first 2.5 hour show that I've done by myself. But yeah, we made it through the storm, child. It was a lot of topics, but look, it was a lot of stuff that had to go on today. You know, the good thing I love about YouTube and streaming and podcasts and stuff, there's no limit as to the time that you have to talk about the things that you want to talk about. So it was a lot of stuff that was going on. And the Jonathan Majors breaking news, all that other stuff that was coming out, you know, that took up a lot of show. But also, like I said, I want to thank you all for tuning in to today's show. Tune in next time for a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered, where we're going to be breaking down all the latest news and hot topics. Make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that share button, you know, the thing where, you know, anytime I go live, because like I said, depending on what I'm talking about, you never know when I'm going to go live with the latest breaking news and hot topics and all other stuff. And I also want to thank all the people that came in. We had Roro, we had Apollonia, we had Sailor Mermaid, we had Robert, we had Felix. There was a lot of y'all that was up in here that was following along and commentating. Is that a word, commentating? If it's not, I just made it up. But, you know, all of y'all that was in here, you know, cackling along with me and doing the show and stuff, I appreciate y'all. I love all of y'all that tune in and give me the views and are watching and helping the algorithms do what they do. I have to say, I definitely appreciate all of y'all that come up in here and support the show and like the show. Tell your friends about the show. If you see something, screenshot it, screen record, post it on your social medias, do whatever you can to get this show, you know, to go where it need to go. And like I said, yeah, so that's basically it. So let me shut up. Finally. Because 2 hours of yapping. It's a lot of work, a lot of exercise, and I appreciate it because I love doing what I do. And I love you all for watching, as I said before. And until next time, ciao, darlings.